Sandman.
Okay, Hardianas. Delby's not here, as you'll find out in a short moment. He slept through his... he just kept on drinking. That's what he did. Let's not...
6 a.m.
Yeah, so we're joined by Artist Geezer. You look like the Artist Geezer right now, actually.
Artist Geezer.
Yeah.
He's the geezer that runs through the fucking...
Yeah, the Artist Geezer.
Yeah.
Oh, he ran to Africa, didn't he?
Yeah, he might be the artist.
That's what his name is.
I thought you said artist geezer.
I thought you said the artist geezer. I was like, I quite like that.
Right, well, so we're joined by Jon Pinder and Dave Hughes, but as you can see behind Jon Pinder, this episode is brought to you by alltradescover.com.au. If you have yourself a trade business, small business, large business, big, whatever it is going to be doing with when it comes to tradies, you can get yourself insured and covered for all your, I guess, accidents, maybe a bit of liability. I don't want to be too specific because we get in trouble for being specific when it comes to legally.
That's just like you're wishing bad luck, aren't you?
Well, potentially.
Yeah.
But
also, John, can you move your head? Because it looks like it's all AIDS.
All trades for stuff.
But if you've
Is that
got
vague enough?
Yes, that's vague enough. If you've got a trade, big business, small business, get involved, give them a call, they'll give you a quote, and generally, I think they're going to probably do a better deal for you. If not, just fucking get on board with them because they're sick. This episode is also brought to you by Kahuna Golf. Do you like golf? Did you just fart?
No. Am I allowed to say what I really think of golf?
Yeah, go on.
I fucking hate it, man.
Love golf.
Oh, there goes that
Golf's
sponsor.
my bestest. Love golf. Can't get enough of golf. I like Jason Wood.
Well, yeah. If you if you
Tiger
don't
Woods.
like golf, you
I like
might
Tiger
like
Woods.
it a lot more if you wore Kahuna Golf because it's quite comfortable. There's a
I like
hat.
golf wear,
There you
certainly.
go. Put the hat on. Make it look
If
good.
they can sling us some pants, I like them golf pants.
Wow, you look good.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I actually do want
You
to play
look
a bit
like
of golf now.
You look like
Now
a
that-
podcaster.
I want to play golf now.
Fully look like a podcaster with that hat on.
You do.
Can we play golf?
You can play.
Podcaster.
We go do... Wait, how many holes is it?
Hey.
Can we go do... how many?
18.
Can we do 18 holes after
Yeah,
this?
of course.
Yeah.
Cheeky 18.
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
cheeky 18. Well, you go cheeky 9 and then play the full 18.
Yeah.
Do I look like a man who does things by heart? Do I look like a pussy to you?
Yeah, no, you don't. But this episode is brought to you by Kahuna Golf. So if you'd like to get involved, you go to Kahuna Golf. I think it's .com. Anyway, go to the show notes. The links are in our bio. But you can get a 15% discount if you type in the code word HardYarns15. So they've got hats, golf attire, shirts. Looks good and feels good as well. So get involved. And also this episode is brought to you by Raunchy Brewing Co. Raunchy's a beer that's actually tastes good. And Sir Henry's, where me and Wolfie are opening our
Yeah, it's all...
room. Yep. So that's going to be, I think, what's the Thursday?
Thursday the
Squealing pig.
30th.
It's going to be June the
30th, isn't it?
June the 11th, I think it is. June the 13th. June the 13th, because we had to delay.
Was it meant to be the 30th? Wolfie told
Yes,
me 30th.
it was going to be initially, but
Fuck you, Wolfie.
it was going to be initially, but it's June the 13th, Thursday. We're going to be opening up our comedy room there. That's the Squealing Pig Comedy.
And Raunchy are on board as the sponsor for that, are they? Or?
Well, they own the venue. So
Right,
Raunchy
there you
is Sir Henry's. So they have a stout as well. So
Raunchy Sir Henry sounds like a character from history. Somebody there'd be a nursery rhyme about Raunchy Sir Henry.
Well, this was a good fun episode. Delby missed his alarm, so we gave him a call early on. But lads, what do we talk about? Do you recall?
Ghosts.
Life stuff, alignment, ghosts,
One
films.
of us,
Yeah, films.
one of us
Shaun at
farted
Dead.
a couple of times. Don't want to say who,
God.
because that would be...
Yeah.
I want to say.
And we talked about
Music.
my 80 a bit. This actually ended up being a bit more about me.
I like that though.
Yeah.
I feel that
Yeah.
that was some of the stuff that I wanted to know about because
It's nice.
I mostly don't get to hang out with you because of our schedules. So I see a lot of what you're up to on
yeah.
the socials, and it's nice for me to get an idea of
Well, it was a nice little catch
the
up.
trajectory.
I hope,
lovely.
I'm just trying to remember. I hope I haven't said half this stuff on the pod before, but it's a good fun pod. Couple of little fun ghost stories at the end. I tell mine, which is creepy.
Oh yeah.
Hands of the
It's terrifying.
Still weirded out by it.
But yep, enjoy the
You should get a
episode.
picture of the ghost up here, actually.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
it painted.
Potential. Oh no.
Both,
thank
actually. Both ghosts.
you. Ugh, no, not happening. Anyway, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Let's get hard.
Love you.
Welcome to Hard Yarns Podcast.
I am fucking fat.
Anything Chris White says, please disregard it.
5D is actually a state of being. It's a unity consciousness.
That was Hard Yarns with me, Frankie Rose. So I'm going to throw it over to your co-host,
Daniel Delby.
And Cameron Brand.
I would do this and then I'd gong.
Free in attendance for the millions listening at home. Let's get hard.
Remember in the old times, you'd ring someone and it'd go beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. Like if it was in the memory of your phone on your thing.
Yeah.
You just press one button, but then it'd go beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if he answers.
Love that.
Hello.
All right, geezer.
Oh.
What's going on? Oh, we're pod today.
Oh, he's a tidy boy.
It is.
We're podding right now.
Morning, my love.
All right, Daniel.
Oh my god.
It's all right, mate. We're only number 2 pod in Australia. You just don't show up for work.
That's
It's all
the
good,
sort
buddy.
of thing that you can do when you're number 2 pod in Australia.
If anything, now's the time to take your foot off.
He's like John Lennon by the time they got to Abbey Road. Maybe I'll show up, maybe I fucking won't. It doesn't matter. I'm coming, but I'm bringing Yoko.
It's all good, bro.
Oh, bro.
It's all good.
So what do you? Is it Hughes and Hughes? Hughes and Hughes?
This is how we start. Yeah, we just thought we'd call you to start.
Oh, nice one. Well, that's good, man. Because I only went to bed at like fucking 6 this morning, bro.
Yeah.
See, I thought that was quite strange that you seen a message I sent you at 5:30 this morning, and then didn't see one at 6:30.
What was the night? What sort of thing were you attending?
Oh, I just got out of hand, man. I had Sunday singles.
A gentleman's soiree. Oh, it got out of hand.
Yeah.
Sunday singles.
Yeah, Sunday singles.
You got swarmed by birds on the way out.
I think Delby should do the intro for us.
Yeah, Delby do the intro.
He's mowed through 3 hens parties. It's taken him all night. He's like, dude, I have fucked 147 women.
Once you pop, you can't stop. Sunday singles.
Classic. All good, bro.
Well, that's nice that there's a little three-way. Probably works out better without me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, potentially.
Just whatever makes you feel better about it.
John brought you breakfast as well.
Yeah, I bought you a big breakfast and everything.
Can you Uber deliver it to me?
No.
All right, bro. Well, sleep well, and
Fuck yeah.
we have a podcast on Thursday with Jagger, so don't forget that one.
Oh, have you got Jagger
I need
out off?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Dude.
I need to rebook my shooting.
I thought you were going to say I need a shit.
Yeah.
No, shoot.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Enjoy, boys. Fuck.
All right. Night.
Love ya.
Bye-bye. Oh, classic.
Oh, bless
And
him.
I'm going to put this on. This is my new trick, actually.
Sleepy Delby.
Do not disturb on the phone. Magnificent. What an addition to my life.
It's not a new trick.
Well, I know, but for me it is.
Oh, right.
Like
yeah.
a magnificent addition.
You know those life coach people
Yeah.
that are always posting about, being an alpha dog and all that shit. There's one of them that was like, the best setting on your phone, the best possible app on your phone is airplane mode.
Oh.
Like he's
It's
just
basically just
discovered
going,
it.
do you know what?
Just fuck it
You're
off.
better off not having a phone.
Yeah.
Don't have one.
Well, having just because I used to use my phone. I don't anymore, but I used to use it for my meditation stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd get like buzzes zzz, zzz, and stuff like that.
Interrupting your zen.
I
You're
put
just
on-
approaching enlightenment.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what we're having for dinner?
Yeah. And then I'd put it on airplane mode to stop that.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't download because I listen to guided stuff
of
sometimes.
course.
Or
Yeah.
So it was quite
I
annoying.
never liked guided meditations. I tried them, and I don't like the condescending.
Yeah.
Everything's peaceful.
Yeah.
You can feel your legs. It's like I can relax my own legs, love.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I always felt really condescended to. It's like I can probably do this better than you can. You can't.
I know when Kate will be like, "Oh, listen to some rain. Listen to the sounds of rain." Like, I grew up in fucking England. That's not comforting at all.
Yeah.
Oh,
Smell
fuck.
the smell of dog shit.
Yeah. Look at these reels of council estates.
Come on, it'll calm you.
Yeah.
Wet dog shit smell.
I listened to one guided one. Actually, it got me into it because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing with meditation to begin with. I don't think anyone does, and I don't think anyone does when they say they do either.
Everybody's got their own thing.
Yeah, but it really helped me get into it, and it was just I spoke about it 2 weeks ago with Chris as well. Just a way of the recognizing parts of the body that and sort of working your way through.
Old mate likes it, doesn't he? Huberman.
Human. He does that as well, does he?
He calls it.
What does what goes? This is your elbow.
He calls he makes everything sound like a robot. He calls it non-sleep deep rest.
Okay.
Fancy yoga people call it yoga nidra, and it's like going through each body part and chilling it out type of thing. Yeah, but I didn't like that. That's exactly the thing that I did, but I didn't like how she spoke.
What? So you just go like settle down, elbow.
I didn't like.
No, I mean what? So
well, it's just bringing attention.
Settle down, elbow.
All right,
come on, don't spaz out.
It's just about bringing attention to it.
Yeah,
so
because
just okay, I'm aware of my the scalp, and I can feel it. You can feel maybe pins and needles is generally how I feel it, and then by the end of it, I feel at the start I feel like I'm buzzing or fizzy or
fizzy's a good one.
Like everywhere, and then at the end of it, I feel soft and smooth. I know that's a weird.
It sounds like a fucking advert for hair removal. Leaving you soft and smooth everywhere.
Did you say fizzy's a good one?
Fizzy's quite nice. Yeah, I get a fizzy feeling up my spine. It goes straight from me.
First time Oscar's hand went to sleep, got pins and needles.
Yeah.
He go, my hand's angry.
Oh, my hand's angry. That's lovely.
I think he thought it was like angry with him.
Rubes had it. We accidentally bought. We were at Bounce and we accidentally bought sparkling water, and she had a swig of it. It's spicy.
It's spicy. That's what Scotty calls.
Spicy water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with them though.
White
it's fucking
kids,
horrible.
White kids.
What is it with Europe and the sparkling water?
It's disgusting.
I don't know. I don't mind a sparkling water now and then.
No.
I don't mind it. It's like
gone off water. It's horrible.
Makes me
you've gone off water.
It makes me feel posh.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is.
I have the bloody a big filter at home now. I got all anal about it.
That sparkles it.
Oh,
No, that takes out all of it.
That's because your podcast is in this area. You've got people messaging you all the time going, you're not drinking fucking tap water still, are
That's
you?
true, but...
you rookie camp, you're not drinking fucking tap water. There's government water.
it's full of fucking...
They put fucking narratives in it. There's fucking ideas in the water, mate.
He speaks truth.
That's what they say, don't they? They say it's full of fluoride and it calcifies your brain, gives you Alzheimer's, makes you easily to control and whatnot.
Gives you athlete's foot.
Gives you athlete's brain.
That's the narrative. That's not in the fluoride.
It's not. Yeah. You're drinking the Kool-Aid if you drink their water.
Do you drink tap water?
I was drinking tap water for a bit, and then there was some roadworks on our street, and I poured a glass of water and it was brown.
Yeah.
I was like, fucking hell, we have got to get a water filter, so we bought one.
I just noticed how my face dries out with the water here, whereas if I'm overseas,
it leaves weird residue. Perth water leaves.
It tastes like shit. That's the only thing. I've got no other issue with it. It's not like the fluoride thing or whatever. I don't know what's in it. I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
But bottled water, I have to drink bottled water just because the tap water tastes fucking horrendous.
Well,
the only place I've ever been where you can drink it from the tap and go, this is amazing, is Scotland.
Really?
Right.
Tap water in Scotland is
it's
like
proper, yeah.
Yeah, it's
because it's just plugged into a mountain.
So literally have a pipe coming out of a mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck. No, it's nice.
And a sparkling pipe as well.
Made the changes. I had noticed. My teeth felt different, and I don't know if that's a positive or a negative, but.
Fluoride's in
fluoride's
toothpaste,
in yeah. But the fluoride's not great for your gut as well. So it's just I recognise it's good for teeth, but that doesn't necessarily mean letting the gut filter it for a long.
I saw an Instagram guy recently. You know the health guys that are sort of left field. Health guys.
Are the health people on Instagram?
There's a couple of them. If you know where to look.
Yeah.
If you follow the Hard Yarns followers,
you'll find some.
You were suggested. You'll find some. But it's one of the left of the. You know where he's not a big butch veiny guy, and he's not he doesn't look healthy himself. This guy, and he's all of 21.
Yeah.
But he's got it all fucking worked out. Maybe he has. I don't know. But he was saying there are so many people. So many ladies on the pill that are then using the toilet, peeing
Oh my God.
peeing extra estrogen into the waterworks, and it gets recycled back. And now all the men in the world are drinking heaps of estrogen, and that's why we're all crying and talking about our feelings. That's how he wrapped it up. It was almost like, but it was I looked because I thought it was satire.
Yeah.
But it was like, like the Andrew Hamilton thing, and I thought, this is satire, and I looked, but it didn't seem to be.
I saw one of those ones where I was like, oh, this is definitely satire as well. Slightly different, but it was a motivational speaker. Oh, yeah. And he was saying that no one can work at his company if they don't have abs.
Fuck off.
That's fucking great. I like that.
I know. I was like,
I can imagine.
He said it's like the, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said it just shows me that you've got dedication and discipline.
It does take discipline to have abs.
Or it says...
or an eating disorder.
Yeah, I was going to say 300 calories a day maybe as well.
Which is also a type of discipline.
It is,
That's why I always argue that fitness is not necessarily healthy. And that's and that's not to
a point.
Yeah, because that's not to demonize fitness. Fitness, I think, is a way of health. But just because you're fit doesn't mean you're healthy. And I use Ben Cousins as a perfect example. Like he was the fittest guy in fucking WA. No, like 2% body fat. Yeah, he was a crackhead. Like
and I know tons of bodybuilders that are on everything under the sun.
Yeah,
crack is a real spanner in the works.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And that's what I mean. So like, you could be as fit as you want running marathons, and you eat a fucking diet of McDonald's because you're working your ass off. Yeah, it doesn't mean you're healthy. You're fit.
Well, the best I ever looked in my body was when I was on a relaxed carnivore diet. I was doing that thing for the same reason everybody else did, because Jordan Peterson said it'd make us happy.
Yeah.
So I was doing that
because he's always happy.
Because it worked out well for him.
He seems such a cheerful fellow.
I've not seen an interview where he hasn't cried after a couple of minutes. Someone just asked him what he was eating once, and he went, I'm not going to lie.
It's just salt.
It's salt and beef.
Mainly salt.
It's horrible.
It's horrible. Oh, fuck.
Forgot how good your Jordan Peterson is.
Yeah.
Look at the data.
But what? Like,
so I was doing that. I was doing a undisciplined carnivore, so it was mostly a carnivore, but with some green veg. But mainly the fuel that was getting me by, because I wasn't eating often enough, was chocolate bars like Kit Kats and shit, and coffee. And I looked great. I had abs.
Yeah,
I was lean as shit. And I was at the boxing gym quite a bit, and there was maybe a 6-month period where I was like, "Fuck, I am in good nick." I didn't drink or anything like that.
Yeah,
but I was like, I was almost always trying to avert a panic attack.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'd get that breathless, like, heart pounding, like, fucking hell. Sometimes I would smell coffee and I'd be like, do you know, I feel a bit panicky. You know?
Yeah.
So it was like, I looked great, but I was not healthy.
The coffee is a bit of an issue for me still.
How do you mean?
Like I can, like just from convenience or habit. Like I'll have a couple at home.
Yeah.
Every morning.
Yeah.
And then I might go to the local coffee shop where I like having a chat with the owner there.
Yeah.
So I'll have one there, and then I might come here, and then I'll have one at engine room just around the corner.
Yeah.
You've had 4
or 5 a day.
Yeah, and then the double shots as well. So like, you fucking feel like
it's weird.
Like anxious.
Coffee's such a weird bitch, because it's like, it's got that milk, unless you're having it black, it's got that milky thing that makes you a bit like sleepy and full.
Yeah.
But then it's also full of caffeine. So
and
you
sugar sometimes as well.
You're wound up, but you're lazy.
Yeah.
Which is,
I don't drink it, but I think I've told you before, I don't drink coffee at all, but I do have pre-workout. So there's probably more in my pre-workout than there is in your 5 fucking coffees.
Yeah.
But I have it in one like immediate hit, usually first thing in the morning.
That makes your skin fizzy.
It does. It makes it hot and fizzy.
Yes.
Yeah, you get that prickly thing. You think, oh, this I shouldn't put this in my body.
Like recently.
Really?
I started using it for gigs.
Did you?
Yeah.
What the?
During Fringe, because I was working at the tattoo shop.
Yeah.
And I had hour shows to do at night.
And he's been doing the hour shows inside of 10 minutes. That's how fucking effective.
Well, I would get through. So I was going to the gym, then I was going tattooing. And then I thought, I can't be having 2 big fucking bursts of this pre-workout every day. So I started skipping it for the gym.
Yeah.
Because it was like, well, just for Fringe, who cares if I'm rubbish at exercise? Lots of people care if I'm rubbish at stand-up.
Yeah.
So I needed me wits about me for the stand-up thing. But I was like,
fuck.
I was on form.
I got another cheat code for you there as well. I don't think it would have the wits about you, but the Sudafed.
Oh yeah.
The cold and flu?
Yeah, yeah.
We used to have it before footy games until I found out
ya?
it was banned. Like, you weren't allowed to have a certain level of it.
Well, it's chemist crack, innit?
Basically.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome, though. Like, it would genuinely get you buzzing.
Yeah.
And I'd have 2 or 3 before a game, Sudafed, like cold and flu. I guess you do it by accident the first time because you got a cold and you need to play a game of footy, so you have a couple of cold and flus to play. And then you're like, whoa, that was interesting.
I used to like
and then it got to a point where they banned it in the waffle, so we also had to stop having it. And fuck, notable difference.
Well, it's how Nazi Germany started. It is. Have you read Blitzed?
No.
Have you ever read Blitzed? So after because Berlin, after the First World War, like Germany was basically in the shit economically, but they had fucking great chemists and stuff. So it became this drug haven. They had all sorts of shit, and they ended up. There was this drug called Pervitin.
Yeah.
That was just in little. I think it was in little.
Where's Delby with you?
I know.
Pervitin.
Yeah. So serious. That's so German. Ring him back. Hey, Delby, Pervitin.
Pervitin.
Yeah. It's very German sounding, isn't it?
Yeah. But it was. To see him
That's Delby. That wasn't him, but that would have been too serendipitous, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Classic. Yeah. So what did it do? It just helped revive the economy.
It was like Dexies. It was like meth. It was meth.
So all these like people that had to rebuild fucking towns and stuff were putting buildings back up in 20 minutes.
Yeah, and it was leading into the war and stuff like that. And by the time the German army was sort of up and running and ready to start invading places,
they were running.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I think that they had, at least this book says so, that they had such success in taking over places so fast because they weren't doing it with classic invasion techniques. They weren't minding their flanks and stuff. They were going as fast as they could. Yeah. They didn't need sleep. They were going for 3 days at a time, blasting through sort of almost recklessly, and people had no choice but to sort of surrender immediately. As far as this book says, I mean, there's probably World War II scholars that know a hell of a lot more about me. Check it out, though, Blitzed.
There is that video
about the drugs in Nazi Germany. Fucking amazing shit.
There's that video of old Delby doing his thing, isn't there? Like where he's like...
Yeah, well, he was on an absolute cocktail because that... what was his name? That fucking doctor who he had. No, not him, his doctor. He had this personal physician. I don't know what his name is. I think it begins with an M. But people didn't like him. He was a big smelly weirdo. And... Hitler was basically on a concoction of both meth and heroin. He was up and down and up and down and up and down. Yeah, he was always trying to find this balance because Hitler didn't trust anybody to do any of his jobs for him. He was not good with what's that word called? Delegation. Fuck, thank you.
Yeah.
Always have a writer with you, I say.
Yeah.
That's how I delegate.
Yeah.
And so he was forever needing to sort of perk himself up, even though he's madly stressed and fucking worn out once they were even losing the war, because he needed to convince people that things were working out well for him. Yeah. But he was terribly depressed and anxious and frightened. Yeah. So he'd get himself all dosed up and deliver these inspirational speeches to all these captains and shit. And they'd
inspirational,
be like,
were they, John?
Very inspirational.
I think that's what Delby needs to start doing. He's mentioned it a few times.
Start doing what?
Delegating. Not giving inspirational speeches.
He should, if anybody should hire a personal assistant, it's Delbs.
Well, he started actively taking on less. So, for example, this comedy room that me and Wolfie are opening.
Yeah.
Well,
he had to resist.
He was like, he's in, and then he's like, I'm going to have to step out because I really want to be part of it.
Yeah.
But I'm taking on enough as it is. I've got my teacher nights. Which he's got a fucking lot on. Yeah. But I think the universe keeps throwing in his face he needs a manager. He's been offered a couple of management gigs.
Yeah.
And
I don't know, man, because it seems to be an old way of doing things. That's just some fucker with their hand in your pocket.
I don't think he needs a manager more than he needs like just a personal assistant.
Something along those
He
lines.
seems a good self-manager to me. He's got that Luke Kidgel independent vibe.
100%. If there's someone out there who probably doesn't need one, it's him. But I think he does need someone who he can just go, actually run the socials here, do all my marketing stuff for this, book me fucking dates here and there.
Yeah, he needs an assistant.
But as you say, not somebody who's like, oh yeah, I'll be your manager. Well, fucking 10% for you getting the gigs that you're getting anyway. Fuck that.
Yeah. But that's one person who can
anybody's listening.
Yeah, delegation.
Personal assistant.
Yeah, he definitely needs something.
one.
Otherwise, how he can't even remember to come in on.
Even if he doesn't pay you, he'll give you good tips on the horses, the footy.
Yeah. Nah, he's going well though. His fucking his stand up is
Dude,
blowing up.
that teacher night and everything.
That's the last time I seen you.
God, wasn't it fun?
Yeah, fuck, it was awesome. So good. He got some bad feedback from it as well.
Did he?
Yes. But this is the thing, man. You ask for feedback.
Did I get bad feedback?
No, you got great feedback.
I was on that shit.
But you get, if you, like, you'll love this. What was your favourite part about the show? The intermission.
Oh, Jesus, that's rough.
But my opinion
he should get that person to do 5 at the next one. That's funny.
My opinion is if you're going to ask for feedback, the only people who are really probably going to go out of their way to say anything are the people who are displeased.
He's got a brilliant trick.
Yeah, it's not in my... Oh, it's a good trick.
He's got a brilliant trick.
I did it the other night.
Tell him. You did. Go on, tell him.
I didn't even mean to.
I saw you do it at your solo show at Frio the first time. And I was like, that is fucking... Because it was funny.
Yeah.
It was funny enough that you could have finished the show. Well, actually, you
did finish the show on it.
Yeah. Well, no, it's funny and it's... Yeah, go.
So what I do, our Fringe, it's got the react thing.
Yeah.
So they'll get an email saying, how was Jon Pinder's show? And if they didn't like it, they can go on there and go, he's a little cockhead or hate him. Don't like any of that shit. So what I started doing is, if you had a nice time at my show, and people tend to sort of people-pleasingly go, hey, because they feel that they're supposed to. And I go, did anybody not have a nice time? And of course, they don't say anything. And I go, no, really?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big boy. You can tell me. Like, just give it to me now. We'll figure out what it is that was the problem. Perhaps I can improve on something. But if you don't say so now, and then you do go on them reacts and slag me off, you then have to go to bed that night knowing you're a coward.
Yeah.
So here's your opportunity.
Yes.
Right? I didn't realise it was genius, other than I just want to be able to face the person who's slagging me off.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I don't mind the criticism.
I see where it comes from.
Give it to me. Look me in the eye and say it. Yeah.
I see where it comes from. Like, I know why you've done it.
Yeah, I mean it. I want to know.
But the effect that it has, I think, is fantastic.
I think people are so... Yeah, but it's also funny enough that they're like, oh, he's trapped us.
Yeah.
Side note as well, before we get on, I want to chat to you guys about your comedy. I just want to give a shout out. Tradie Beer, hopefully, manifesting. Hopefully.
Manifesting, baby.
I want to get them on. But Tradie, Team 18, they took me, my daughter, and Danny, one of my mates.
Car thing.
Yeah, to the supercars yesterday. Dave Reynolds. And fuck, man, like... I woke up this morning and pinching myself. Yeah. Like just... Was it amazing? This is the second year he's done that for us. And just...
Scotty love it.
Scotty loves it, man. Scotty, she has a lot of fun. But I was talking to Danny, one of my mates who I took with me, and he's like, people can't pay for that experience. Yeah. You got to go in the pits. Yeah. You got to hang with Dave Reynolds all day. Like when he was not racing, he'd come out and want to hang and chat. Yeah. He was like, it nearly teared up when we got there, and he was calling us, making sure we got there on time, and like we got no trouble with tickets and stuff. And we walk in, and Scotty comes around the corner, and he was like, Scotty, and like treating Scotty like a kid that he's known forever.
Lovely. That's amazing.
And
how lovely is that?
And so that was incredible. But you get to hang out with him. He took us into the trailer after the races, hung out with him and Mark Winterbottom. Mark Winterbottom is one of the best races the last 20 years, right, who's in his team as well, who didn't have, in fairness, had the best day, but got to go in and do all that sort of stuff. And
I know Nigel Mansell, that's all I really
know. All I know is Nigel Mansell.
But I had this
Jensen
sort of pinch
Button?
me moment. Yeah, Jensen Button from F1.
My nana in her like final years on this earth, suddenly got into Jensen Button. She talked about him more than she talked about her grandchildren. It was like, Jensen's had a good race. I was like, has he?
To be fair, he had achieved more than they had.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
But the whole day, mate, was just it was. I got home and I said to Danny, I was like, I got to pinch myself, man, because that is
all from this.
Just from this, he listens to the podcast. Amazing. Come on, out of reached out to us. And I don't know, and then get home and for whatever reason, I checked the podcast stuff because I'd ignored it all day. I haven't done anything, so I was just checking some
Like, I've got these two bell ends on tomorrow.
Yeah, no, but I was just checking a few things, and then I seen we were number 2 in Australia, I literally said, "Thank you, Oddson." I looked at it and I said, and I looked back to double check, and we were number 2 and number 40 something overall, and actually we went up again today.
Up like
what is the category?
Comedy and comedy interviews.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, so that's fucking big.
Yeah.
Who is it you're behind?
In regards, I don't know.
No, for number 2 and number 1.
Yeah, number 1, I don't know.
Fuck them.
I don't really.
I like that you've not even acknowledged who it was.
I don't.
He knows. He don't want to plug him.
No, I don't know who it is.
I see.
It's
Hamish and someone.
Yeah. Hamish and Andy are definitely the.
Hamish and Andrew,
they're definitely the top dogs when it comes to Australia's comedy stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually we're around them. I think this morning even we went above Inspired Unemployed, and they've got a platform of.
They're huge.
Like,
those guys advertise everything.
Yeah.
Like clothes.
Yeah.
Milk.
Yeah.
The sky.
Employment.
So where's ours? Where's ours?
I don't know. It looks like it's fucking getting there, to be quite honest.
It's getting there.
The only objects getting around with more sponsors than you are those cars.
Yeah, fucking hell, there's got a lot of sponsors on them. But yeah, big shout out to Tradie and the Team 18, because that was fucking such an experience. And I don't know, it is starting to feel like things are going bigger than I could have hoped for. It seems to be.
Yeah, you say that, but they could have let you drive.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that.
You put the yards in though, haven't you? You've fucking spent a lot.
The yards in.
Hard yards. But yes, yeah, definitely. I think.
Delby's not here, is he?
I expect it from Delby, David.
Yes, but no, it's just I don't know. I'm just starting to, and the messages we're getting. I don't know.
And your TikTok, was that 90k or 80k?
Yeah, 90,000 I think this morning. Ticked over. Like we were 40,000 the other day, and even that, like, you don't judge your success by followers.
Yeah, you do.
But it's yeah. But that's where it seems to be a lot of our. It's been directing people to our listens. It's been directing people to our YouTube.
It looks like from here you're in alignment with your highest self.
It's funny you say that, John.
Feels like alignment.
Everything's
working out at the moment.
Everything. Met a girl.
What's this?
Oh yeah, was this a lady?
Oh yeah,
the one that we saw you with.
Yeah,
that was a dangerous question. As soon as I started saying, was that the lady?
Don't say the venue.
Oh wait, yeah.
Is that the guy I seen you with at the Brisbane?
Yeah. No,
we should edit that.
Yeah.
Is that the girl I saw you with at the Brisbane hotel? Oh yeah, on the 27th.
what was her name? It was Susan.
Yeah, no, she's great, and so that and even that, for example, and I don't know where that goes, but
how long have you been hanging out with that lady?
Like it's just sort of been, it's just slowly progressed over months.
Nice,
but it's been like the thing that was so interesting, and I actually brought this up to her. I've told Delby this and a few people this lately. I was so shut off to letting anyone in without even knowing it.
That's what I was like.
Just the first thing, as soon as I'd meet a girl, would be like, this girl's
go away.
Fuck off. As soon as a girl came across my path that was potentially wanted to date or catch up, I would instantly go, okay, is this girl perfect in every single way? And if she's not, am I going to eventually have to have the conversation?
I'm sorry, you're not perfect in every way.
Yeah, exactly. And in that case, I'm just not going to even attempt to see where it goes to begin with. Yeah. So I'd completely shut it off. And the first, almost the first person I let come in and actually just, be involved in any way has been a fucking, knock it out the park.
I've said
just
that
by
to
letting them in.
Because I went through a phase like that. And I say it to people who seem to go through a lot of partners and can't.
Yeah.
They seem to attract the wrong kind of people. I said, stop attracting people altogether. Get rid of everybody. Because once you take everybody off the menu, there'll be somebody that will stand out.
Exactly.
Eventually.
Yep.
I can't say how long that'll take, but it does make a massive difference. I think maybe in a, call me old-fashioned, we're in this culture of fucking just scurrying around this one, that one, this one, that one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little bit of fucking chastity, maybe. Yeah. Jesus.
Well, at the start, like I probably was trying to fill a void.
Yeah, of course.
just trying to like, okay, I'm lonely. I need someone there to that's not a healthy start to any sort of relationship.
Sometimes you're just letting yourself know that you're worth something as well.
Yeah.
You're
and
like,
even with this girl, for example, like the messages I was sending was like, yeah, come over, watch a movie. It's not like, that's like, come over, I want to fuck you, basically. That's what they would hear. That's what they would hear.
Yeah.
And to a point, I end up just going, oh, would you like to go for a coffee one morning instead? And I changed my approach of like, I am actually being quite...
You can fuck at coffee shops as well.
But like that sort of approach was... I didn't see it like that. I saw it as, I have a kid, I can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Or I'm tired and I just want to stay at home or whatever. But it doesn't come across that way as well. Yeah. And so just change, letting people in. So I think that's the that's been really nice.
That's been nice. Have you had a poo at her house yet?
No.
Had a poo at your house yet?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I wouldn't say on there.
Hey?
Have you had a poo? It's just it's an interesting, weird step for me. I've talked about it on stage as well, and I'm fascinated with it. That thing about convincing each other that you don't shit at the beginning. Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, I just don't do it. It's just not for me.
Well, she'll listen, and then I'll...
eventually you'll go, I think it's time.
I think it's time. And then I think it's time to do it with the door open.
Yeah. Even I'm not there yet.
But it was end up being also just this conversation that I've even had with her. Like, I'm okay to have that if I don't see this is working with anyone going forward. Like, I'm okay to go, it's not... it's not you, it's not me, I'm just not feeling it. I could not bear in my mind to have that conversation with anyone. So I just completely shut it off before it got there.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was the issue. So then, got all right with being alone, being by myself, and then not trying to fill the void and spending time with someone because I wanted to.
Yeah. That makes a big difference. Sorry that we all came over to you.
Yeah, you bastards.
It's about 9 of us. All right, Branchy, what are you doing, mate?
But that's all. It's all happened at the same time. Like, it's all just that alignment feels right.
Yeah,
that's the right word.
Yeah. Sometimes you get like catching a wave, innit?
Well, just even the fitness stuff. Like, I'm not. Even the run, the 80 kilometre, I didn't set out to train to do an 80 kilometre.
I can't wrap my head around how anybody would go. I'm going to
it just felt like the natural thing to do next? Was that it? Or?
No, because the first time I did the 80, I did it the week after I found out about Steph and the marriage breakdown and stuff, and I was using it as like almost a
distraction.
Well, like a coping mechanism to get away and escape and put myself in pain to maybe...
Through something equally hard, but through your own volition.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, I feel like I've turned that run initially, because it's the same run, 80 kilometres down south, ultra marathon. I feel like the first time I ran it, I was running away and I was using it as a coping mechanism. And this time I use it as a form of like, I'm in power now. I'm doing this because I want to do it. I'm going to show that I'm not just trying to finish this race. I'm going to actually fucking destroy it.
Probably helped this time round because your feet didn't fall apart.
Yeah. Well, the toes, I've only just come right. So there's the two.
I can't even imagine it.
There's a podcast with you guys and the Reapers after you did the first one.
Oh, the first one, yeah.
Such a great episode. It's probably my favourite hard yards.
It's very
episode.
good. And Chris
gets hammered.
Very drunk. And he doesn't, like, Whitey doesn't really drink. So for him to do that, Buddha was saying, like, that's a big thing for him to do. He was so excited by it. But
it's just great listening to you talk about the run and like the lack of planning. Because I was like, that was the one thing that I was like, oh, that's... If he's doing it that way, I can do it that way.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because you have to like do this, well, you tell it, but the stations and stuff that you hadn't done the last time.
Yeah.
Or you sort of done them with your brother? Or?
Yes. So, last time I didn't use any aid stations. I didn't have any help. I didn't have anyone there to help me with anything. No drop bags. I sort of just rocked up. I got my hydration the week before and I didn't plan anything. This time, in fairness, I still didn't do that.
Really? Okay.
I had all my mates there and I assumed we would line up because I assumed they would catch me. And we would like be at the same stations at some point, and then they could hang on and be there, check up on me. But I stayed.
So they ran the whole thing with you, or parts of it?
No, so they started an hour 45 after me as a team,
right? Okay.
And then I would assume eventually they would catch up to me because they'd be running faster,
right? Yeah.
But I finished before them, so they didn't even catch me. So I didn't see anyone the whole race. Jeez. So I finished it still all by myself. everything was in my backpack. I didn't have any drop bags.
This is proper Goggins shit.
And
well, last time weren't you listening to Goggins?
Yes, I was listening to Goggins shit to get me through.
But
this
you're
time,
in such a healthier space than Goggins.
It was
you're
so
like,
much.
Stay cheerful.
Yeah, I was so good, mate. I'll tell you what. This was actually such a fucking incredible moment through the run. I was really struggling at a point of like about 60 kilometres in. It was starting to get starting to get quite painful. And my brother had messaged me saying, "I'm sorry I missed you at the last station, but I'm going to be around about 60 k's, and you can run past, say g'day. I'm going to bring." He's going to bring his daughter, my niece, and we'll say hi. So I started getting excited to see someone because I started realising, fuck, I had been alone for a run quite a long time. I was starting to get sore. Yeah. And then
your friends had all let you down.
I put on, I put music on. I hadn't been listening to music. I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast. It wasn't really.
What do you like him?
I like him. He's good, but it wasn't. The episode wasn't getting me. I just wasn't into it. I was like, fuck it, put on some tunes. And I put on, me and my daughter have our own playlist.
Oh, killer.
Lovely.
And it's just the Guardians of the Galaxy playlist, which is old 70s and 80s songs. And that Come and Get Your Love came on.
Yes, yeah.
Come and get your love.
That's a good song for a runner's high.
Mate,
Yeah.
And that comes on, down, 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 down. And I get teary thinking about it. Is like Scotty's face comes up in my head and her
doing
the way she dances.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
and
lovely.
fuck, I just started like bouncing along and I just felt fucking good. And then I see my brother and I was like,
fuck you.
My calf was pretty cooked at the time. So I was still a little worried about finishing because about 40 k's in
Was it cramping or something?
Yeah, I definitely did a mild strain about 40 k's in. Right. So I had to change the way I was running and I had to run the last 40 k's with this fucking pain in my calf and trying to nurse it through. And
I hate when that happens.
And I was quite worried about finishing, but I don't know what happened in that moment and it just felt fucking... And the music, I don't know what it is about music. It just changes everything. It's magical. I love it.
I can imagine that particular song as well.
Yeah. Got a strong association.
So what would you say then?
But the other song that came on was Mr. Blue Sky.
That's another fucking great song.
Fucking awesome.
Good for running as well. Nice pace for running.
Oh, it's so good, mate. And
you know Mr. Blue
Sun
Sky.
is shining in the sky. There ain't a cloud inside.
It from years ago.
Mr.
Blue Sky, Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you didn't fall
I'd play it.
You know Mr. fucking Blue
I know the song.
Sky.
I just want to listen to you two sing it.
It's a hard song to fucking recreate, actually.
But Scotty loves it as well.
ELO, isn't it?
Yeah.
Electric Light Orchestra.
That's the one. And that song came on and just fucking those sorts of vibes were just...
It's a fucking banging song.
Awesome. But yeah, I don't know what it is about music that does that shit to you.
Yeah.
But I've been doing that a bit lately as well because, you've go in the vibe of, of like, I'm going to listen to podcasts. I'm going to learn in my drive today, or I'm going to listen to some sort of inspirational thing or some sort of knowledge. And then lately, I've just put everything away.
Yeah.
In the morning, I'll listen to maybe some Alan Watts or something like that, just to set up my day. And then it's all music.
Yeah.
It's changed.
I get a feeling sometimes when I'm listening to stuff like that, that's like a little alarm bell that says you're doing too much in terms of trying to improve your mindset. Yes. You've got to actually put that intellectual shit down now and just do something.
Yeah,
even if it's not something productive or goal. Do you know what I mean? Just do something you like. Watch a fucking film.
Yeah, I find it's made my mind silent almost.
Yeah, it's better to because it's like full of stuff. So you think that you're doing the right thing by filling your head full of stuff, but sometimes that's not what you need. Sometimes you need to just fucking get on with things. And that's what do you think? Right, given this. Because if anybody's listening to this going, oh, I want to feel like what Branchy's been feeling like. Yeah. What are the main ingredients of that, do you reckon? Asking for a friend.
Baby steps.
Right.
That has been...
You'd have to in a fucking 80-kilometre run, I suppose.
So do you mean for the 80-kilometre or just being in a place?
I mean for like... For getting that alignment thing, getting that, being in the good spot. Baby steps.
Tiny little things.
Little adjustments.
Little ones.
Atomic habits.
Like in hindsight and looking back on everything, little baby steps, tiny little changes in everything. We jest about the water before, but I changed the water because I'm starting to become conscious about what I put in my body. Yeah. Maybe I do TheraBand exercises.
What's that?
So TheraBand is like the
big elastic band.
The big elastic band. It's just like a resistance band, basically. And I have bad shoulder. Instead of complaining about how fucking sore my shoulder was, I went to see an occupational therapist, and they gave me some TheraBand exercises, and I do them every single morning. And it's not much. It takes me 15 minutes. But
he says complaining about his shoulder.
But that takes away that like little background issue,
exactly,
which makes you a less sort of cunty.
Yeah, well, 100% is one less thing. I always thought I had this initial thing at the start of like I'm gonna get fit, and that's gonna make me happy and healthy. And then I got fit, and I started to look like I wanted to look before, I guess. Yeah. And I was like, that doesn't make me happy. It's one less thing to worry about, though.
Yeah.
It's like I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, so it's inadvertently, it's having the less thing to... Because I noticed that the reason that I asked that is because when I got me vasectomy reversed recently. Yeah. And now that's healed and stuff like that. But every now and then I'll get like an achy bollock where the operation bit was. Yep. Always in the same spot. And it's just a dull ache that sort of seems to come out of nowhere, as if somebody's just flicked you on the bollock. Yes. You know that dull ache? Yeah. But it puts me in a bad mood. Even though it's not terribly painful, it's just like, it's like having a vague headache. Right. It's like, and it puts you in like a... It happened. You're less patient with stuff.
It's and that is, I don't know what it is. I tried to ask Dr. Anthony Chafee when he was on about the whole idea. Yes, meat. I tried to ask him about the stretching side of things, because I found when I'd have like a sore back or like I'm rigid, like got nervy pain and stuff, it would affect my mood. Yeah, and that's because you're not quite at your peak performance.
Which a lot of that body scanning shit is for, I think. That going back to what you said before about like fucking scanning your... Settle down, elbow. Yeah. All that stuff. Yeah. Because you carry a lot of tension in certain places and you don't actually notice it. You just think you're in a bad mood. But then sometimes you go, fucking hell, my shoulders are tight. 100%. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so there's that. And just by... Like, I mentioned it in that pod whenever I talked about it, but it was like I'd have Scotty and she'd be going, let's go to the park or something like that. And I have a sore back. And I'm like, oh, fuck, it's the last thing I just want to fucking lie down on the bed right now.
I feel like shit for that as well.
And so I remember doing it one day where I don't know why I did it. I just felt like, all right, I'll just give myself a stretch and see if that helps. And I stretched for 10 minutes and then I felt like, oh, Scotty, let's go. Let's go. We're all good. And I felt fucking bubbly, and I was like, fuck, it was not that I was tired.
That's
it was
a good
not
dad pointer.
It was the fact that I was actually in a little bit of pain and stuck and not, So I just stretched.
Then you fix the problem physically, and then you're also not sat there thinking like, oh, I feel like a shit dad.
Yes. So, I don't know.
It's just a win-win.
100%. And then meditation every day. Yeah. Every day.
How long?
Fuck all, 10 minutes.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, right.
10 minutes, once a day, twice a day if I can. In the morning, if I can, depending on what time Scotty wakes up.
Do you meditate?
I don't like the word.
Yeah.
I've done it for years, but I don't like the word. Because anytime I say it's like a word association thing. If it becomes a formal thing for me, I'm not having it anymore. Same as those guided ones. It's like, just relax. It's like, stop pretending to be... Why are you doing spiritual voice? Yeah. You don't have to do that.
I don't meditate, but I do things that I think put me almost in one of those states.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's all it is.
But
music seems to be doing that for me.
Yeah, music can do it. It's
walking
like
does it.
Yeah, walking's a fucking
walking
great
does
one.
It. Well, if I don't have any headphones or anything, sometimes, fucker, I won't even bring my dog. I just go for a walk and I just don't...
Just you in the lead.
Dragging it along
just
the
dragging
floor.
It along.
Yeah.
But that makes me, I don't know, just kind of like clears my head. Yeah. And it's especially good. I know we've talked about it before, but like if I'm working on something and I go and do that, like the same with going to the gym.
I've stolen that technique.
It's a great thing. If you get stumped, not even stumped on anything, but you just go, all right, I'll read a brief and then I go, all right, I know what I've got to do. And I'll just go for a walk or I go to the gym for an hour. Because I don't think about anything else when I'm walking now. But it used to be with the gym, it was like I didn't think about anything other than what the exercise I was doing. Yeah. And now with walking, I can just walk and not think about anything. Yeah. And then I'll come back to it and be like, all right, well, let's get on with it.
Yes. Whatever you can do is click your brain into that
But like you were saying,
into a general disinterest in whatever it's thinking.
Yeah, but like when you say the word association thing, that's exactly what I have. So when you say you meditate every day, I just think of
you think of
like
sage
this,
and lotus position,
which I'm not mocking. If you do that, like 100%.
Yeah,
is that what you do?
That's what I do.
Okay.
I don't do the lotus position. I just sit in a nice,
do you sit bolt upright?
Yep. Well,
I don't like that position.
I can't quite. So I have a chair sitting behind me. So I sit on the floor with an upright, because I find if I sit in the chair, I slouch.
Against the couch.
It's like sitting against a couch, basically. But
with your legs crossed, legs folded.
Yeah, legs, and that's helped with flexibility. I never could sit fucking cross-legged like that. I don't know.
I've just been able to sit cross-legged.
The thing is,
like, comfortable cross-legged.
I'm sat cross-legged now.
So,
but like in a proper.
yeah. But I guess the addition of, like, if I was to go, all right, tomorrow I am going to meditate. I'm going to do all these exercises. I'm going to drink this water. I'm going to make all this change. It's such a large, abrupt change like that. Yeah. I'd probably give up the next day.
Too much.
So it has been over. It's
like trying to do 75 hard all at once.
Yeah,
it's like, fuck, you got to start it so many times over.
And this is the thing, when I did 75 hard, I felt like.
Of course you've done 75 hard as well. Fuck me.
I didn't realize that, well, and it's funny you say that, like sort of like baby stepping into it.
Right.
I basically did most of it already. I just didn't drink. I hadn't drank, and I didn't exercise twice a day. Yeah. So I was like, well, it's only a couple of little additions.
Outside, isn't it? Is that what?
The what? Yeah, one is outside, and it's a bit rigid with its thing, but that's the whole idea of the discipline of it. But
turn you American, that I think, if you do that.
Yeah,
I'm sure that I'd become.
You can definitely catch American.
Yeah, I'd end up with a gun, but shouting about God.
But definitely baby steps, little bits. Don't look at the end path. Don't look at where you're trying to get to. Just look at what you can do tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
just
good.
To be always trying to be a little bit of a better version than the person you were yesterday.
So do you find not looking at the result as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Always been a bit like I used to. Everything was results driven, so I would always think like I have to do this so that I can get to this thing here. And now I've realised that if I don't worry about where it's going, like obviously you have a rough picture or whatever, but if you don't focus on that so much and you just, as you're saying, like the baby step thing, you just think about what you're doing today. I do find that helps a lot.
Letting go to receive is such an interesting concept, and it's so illogical to some people. But just letting go of all attachment to outcome and letting it come to you and just going with the flow and doing the wu-wei thing that I preach all the time has been the biggest benefit to my life.
Yeah, I think that for a few years I noticed that any time you catch yourself wanting stuff, wanting to be or have something too much in a certain way, you start to get the stink of desperation on you, and it really puts not just people but good luck.
100%.
Everything seems to swerve you. It's like, yucky.
Well, wanting
weird, desperate,
suggests
pathetic boy, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
It's horrible. It's unattractive to like the world.
Yes, because wanting suggests lack. I mean, if you want something, it means you don't have it.
That's some very Abraham Hicks shit you're coming out with there.
Exactly, but it does.
You're giving off the vibration of lack.
And so, like, if you want to go down that vibrational stuff, it's not even a woo-woo thing. It's just like, I can see in your eyes. You know, like the
same way that I don't like the buzzwords in meditation. I don't like the buzzwords in that stuff, but I'm a staunch believer in it because I've proved it to myself so many times. But I try and make it as grassroots as I can.
Because it's become a cliche.
It's not meditating, it's just sitting for a bit. Yeah. And it's not letting go to receive as such. It's just not being a desperate little stinker.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I go, no, that's not a good energy for me. I need to wear a different mood than that.
Yeah. I say and meditate just out of, I guess.
Because that's what it is. Yeah. That's the most popular word for it. But it's a personal thing to me. I go, right, I'm meditating now.
Well, for me, if I was to really call it what it is to me, it's just getting quiet with myself.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I sit down and I have a chat with myself.
Yeah, I
think it was resetting.
Yeah.
Whenever I do that, I just think like I'm just gonna have a little reset.
Yeah.
Push the reset button.
I'm gonna cool off. I'm gonna take some time and cool off.
Well, when I do listen to music, and I get in that sort of zone where there's no thoughts, I'm not listening, not thinking, and things just come up naturally. That's when, and I'll bring this up because you're in the room, I had this vision of me making a short film when you're in it, and I have this scene in my head where you're jogging.
Me personally?
Yes, you are the other person I had.
And what am I doing? Jogging?
you're jogging in this opening scene of the.
I'm not auditioning for that.
and also that's the sort of vision I have in my head is that someone who doesn't normally jog and you're starting to try and jog and
that's me.
Yes, exactly. So there's that guy. I have that scene in my head of you running around this lake.
You've wanted to film me for ages.
Yes, this is the same vision. And you're running.
We should do it so that you can just put it to bed.
100%. And I've got all the shots in my head. And it's the soundtrack is Arcade Fire, The Suburbs.
Oh, I fucking love that.
Yeah. It's fucking and I don't know, it's just awesome. And then the end, I don't know why Arcade Fire. Maybe I assuming I was
really
listening to
love that.
Arcade Fire. Wake Up is the end track to the final scene that I can see.
What's the one with the guitar? That really lovely guitar riff. That sort of loops over itself. That one.
I can't recall the name.
I love that tune.
But Arcade Fire is great.
Fucking beautiful. I live next to a lake. We could do it. We could do it near my gaff.
We'll do it. Yeah. But I've got that vision of this scene, and then the opening scene. I know how you walk into the house. I know what the scene and the theme of it is, and who's in the door. I had a series idea.
It's not comedy.
Like, you know what's fucking annoying a little bit? It's like a mental...
All these questions you keep asking me.
It's like I have this sort of mental health side of things in my head about this struggling comedian going through...
Thanks a lot.
Yes, going through some things. And I don't want to give away the plot because I really do.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, we'll talk about
and I'll talk to you about it. But it's very reminiscent of what I've been starting to watch with Baby Reindeer.
Oof.
And the feel, not the rape and stuff like that, but the feel of a bit of
this sort of like watching a guy struggle through his life.
Really struggle, really struggle, and then start to those moments in those scenes where you can see he gets the vibe up in he gets a vibe up in the comedy scenes where someone laughs and then it gives him confidence and then he.
Yeah. Oh, this is a bit more like your story.
Yeah. Well,
from being frustrated and then baby stepping your way through. I'm giving the plot away.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's what it is.
The subject.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
Right. Yeah,
that's what it is. Like I think you draw from your own experiences.
Yeah.
Just the friend that gets him through it all.
Yeah.
And what that entails. It's
friend that gets him through it all, and all these puns that he makes.
And the partner and stuff he meets. I've got it all in my head.
Yeah.
But it all come to me when I was running.
Right. Yeah.
So it was just I just had this vision of this whole fucking movie and the whole plot.
And the music's there already.
The music's there. Yeah. I had and it's interesting what comes to your mind when you're listening to certain music and that's what it did for me.
Do you think your mental diet has a big effect on like the stuff you're taking in? Because I've noticed lately. Me and Soph are watching The Sopranos through. She's never seen it all the way through. I've seen it for a bunch of times.
Okay.
So we're watching through that again.
Yeah.
And I'm getting fat. I'm eating loads. I must be eating pasta 4 times a week.
What? Do you just sit there watching it eating ice cream?
Yeah. I'm killing all my mates.
Fuck. Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or have you noticed like people that are into like goth stuff, really dark metal things are often look like they're just fucking struggling with everything all the time.
Yeah. I've stopped listening. I still have my little let outs, like where I fucking listen to my heavy metal because I loved heavy metal back in the day. I loved Metallica, Iron Maiden. I still do. I
was a big grunge kid, right? And I can't even listen to it anymore. It just makes me feel gloomy if I put any stuff like that. I put Nirvana on, I'm like, ooh, this is not good for me to have too much of this.
Yeah, me and Scotty put on, I've got my record player, and Scotty loves picking the records and putting them on, and she put on Nevermind the other day. And I was like, I think we're going to change this, Scotty.
Yeah, it's a bit heroin-y, suicide.
But that's because it does something different to different people. Like she wouldn't have had that.
No, of course not.
Those connotations.
Her favourite is Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, really?
She fucking loves it, mate.
Yeah, does she?
She fucking loves it. And she just jumps around. And
she'd be great. And do what they told you.
Yeah. And it's that album.
Do what they told you.
And, I don't know. It takes me back to when I went to see Rage. And the biggest, strongest, largest mate I have was holding onto my belt, and I was still fucking fearful of my life. Really? I just felt like it was fun. Everyone was like, pick him up. Like when people were, but it wasn't, there wasn't a choice of being in the mosh pit. The whole of the Claremont Showgrounds became a mosh pit. Yeah. You're like, I'm going to get out. Like I was, to be fair, I was like 30 meters back. I wasn't too far back, close to the stage. And I looked behind and I was like, there's
no way.
There's no getting back. Yeah. And that is
I hate mosh pits.
That is the most scared I've ever been.
No. I can't imagine you being just imagine you being the only one refusing to just bounce and move and being like, do you know what? It's not for me.
This is not for me.
I fucking hate this.
I love music. I don't like live music. I don't like
really.
I like live music, but I do not like standing in a crowd.
This is the thing.
I don't like sitting in an audience at a comedy gig either. I just get terrible professional envy.
Yeah.
I get like, I don't want to do this bit. I want to do the fun bit.
I think that's very different though. No part of me can get up on stage and play music or like sing to people.
Okay.
But like I just don't want to be in it. I don't like that whole like being in a crowd of people going fucking nuts.
What if you were like side stage though?
That would probably be amazing.
I think it's a different experience, isn't it? You get to watch it.
In fact, me and Sev went and did interviews and stuff for what's that fucking classical?
The symphony.
Yeah. Right. That was great because we weren't a part of that at all. We were in the media section. I didn't have to be around.
How did you feel being at that live though?
It was still too much. I was just I was done after about 20 minutes. Right. But also, it was like that amalgam of like classical and pop music.
Yeah,
and that was not
trance
for me
music. Fucking.
But you put me like if I went to if I saw like Penguin Cafe Orchestra, that would be amazing. I would love that. Because everyone would be sat fucking down and not raving around and rocking, going fuck yeah.
Also, this is where like I've started to like. I love live music, and I used to. The evolution of Cameron Branch is very interesting because I used to be front and center, like fucking front against the rail at a fucking huge concert. I'd be.
I called her mom.
Spiky.
It was a Friday night.
Yeah, spiky. Dyed my hair black, like sort of like fucking. I'd leave all my friends and just go by myself front row. Really? And now I would prefer to go watch Jack Johnson in Kings Park and have a picnic.
I've been taught to like live music. I've never been to so many concerts since I started seeing Soph.
Yeah, okay.
And she sort of like schooled me on that a little bit, but I'm still not a good audience member. I like going there now more than I used to. Yeah. And I'm glad that I've seen certain acts. I've seen like quite a few bands that I would never have bothered going to see. The National and shit like that.
The National are incredible.
The Darkness.
Did you go?
Yeah, I went to the
I am eternally jealous. Yeah. I wanted to try and I really wanted Justin Hawkins on the podcast.
I love
it's a
that.
bucket list.
I want to be friends with him.
That's
on my bucket list.
Listening to him
with Justin Hawkins.
Navigate new songs.
He's unbelievably good.
Fuck, he's incredible.
Well, this was their thingy as well. This was their like anniversary of Permission to Land.
Permission to Land, which is
brilliant.
Did they only play Permission to Land in
they
entirety?
Played, they did, but they then did a load of like they break away into like bits of covers and medleys and stuff like that, Led Zeppelin shit and stuff. The ending was like one of them down, and it was like big glam rock. Yeah. And unless you're into that thing, it gets boring. Then I could have left 10 minutes before the end.
Yeah, okay.
Because it was just overly indulgent. It was like, all right, we get that we love this thing.
Yes. Yeah.
But
that would have been big.
I've well had enough now. But to see like Giving Up and all those songs,
Giving Up.
I fucking love them.
Love on the Rocks with No Ice.
Yeah.
Get your hands off of my woman, motherfucker. Oh fuck, I love those songs. That album,
very good. That was first. Yeah. Get your hands off my woman's first, isn't it?
Second, I think Black Shuck is.
Oh, Black Shuck, yeah.
Black Shuck. It's fucking good.
Listening to you talk about that, I've just realised I think some of it for me would be an identity thing too, because the two genres of music that I love the most are completely polar opposites as well.
Because you
classical
like
music
British
and grime.
Rap, grime, yeah.
And I wouldn't want to be at either of those things.
Yes.
Because I don't belong at either of those. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't belong to that opulent
But they
crowd,
accompany you on your, like, in your alone time. To the gym or to like
they're all I listen to.
Driving and stuff like that. I'm just not a good audience member. I have to think nobody's looking at me at all, which is good because I've noticed one of the things that people do at concerts is they just put their hand up.
Yeah.
They'll go like that.
Yeah.
All of that stuff would annoy the hell out of me.
For what reason are you going?
Yes.
I've seen videos of people at concerts and they're like screaming the lyrics to a song that's happening. But like if I was screaming the lyrics and you're there, surely that is annoying the fuck out of you.
And
I want to listen to them do it.
Well,
at every single concert that I've been to, which is like quite a lot more than I'd ever been to at any other part of my life since I met Self, there is always near me one dude who's shit-faced, who's too enthusiastic about the band, who seems to be wanting to, like, he shakes his mates, he spills drinks.
I'd leave.
He fucking stinks. Like, he's I don't know who this guy is, but I've seen so many versions of this same guy, and I don't know what possesses him to be such a wanker.
Yeah, I agree.
He's an awful...
But I do like the idea, and I have heard Chris Martin talk about this from Coldplay, and I'm actually quite upset I haven't seen them live before because their show is incredible. I've seen their DVD and
new stuff.
DVD back in the day, not even streaming DVD. I used to love that DVD with all the vision, and it was fucking awesome. But hearing him talk about how the thing that is so good about live music is you've got 20, 30,000 people there for one specific thing, and they just forget everything else, and they're there for that. Yeah. And there's something about that collective.
Look how they shine for them.
Yeah, classic. But they're there for that one collective moment of they're all singing at the same time, doing the same thing.
But isn't that true of like a football game?
And same thing. It's unity, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what I
stand up too.
Yeah,
everybody laughing all at the same thing.
I think that's the difference between like watching stand up on Netflix and watching it live in the room. You're there all experiencing it together.
True,
it's an energy and it's a feeling. But speaking back of you'd like grime and that sort of what'd you say, symphony and like poetry or
no, I love classical music. I don't like
so you'd love like what Sarah Callahan's doing then.
Yeah, she is fucking great.
Incredible, hey?
I just found like a bunch of her stuff on Apple Music.
Yeah.
Because obviously I knew that she was making music, and I can't remember the name of the songs, but it was one of them, and I was just like, oh, this is like a combination of like the Streets and Postal Service.
Yes.
Yeah. Like it was like a beautiful mashup of the two, but also while being really original.
Yeah.
And she was talking about being homesick and stuff, and
it's
phenomenal.
She's very good, Sarah Callahan. Have you had her on?
Super fucking talented.
Yeah, we had her on when she first came. Oh
yes, I think I did see the clips from that.
And
multi fucking faceted artist, very smart.
I'm like,
but such a good laugh as well.
Just obsessed with like her comedy, her just attitude, everything. She's just a fucking legend. Yeah. I don't know, like she's really. I love her poetry stuff. The bars and beers and bars.
Yeah. Oh, she says, "Yes, people, it's time for bars and beers."
But you know what? The enthusiasm as she starts each of those videos is just like, I watch and I go, I have to watch.
Go on. And she's all Londony and shit. She sent me a message because she was out with the General. What's his name? Martin?
I don't know, but he's fucking...
I call him the General. I fucking love him.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And she was out with him last night. I woke up to it this morning, voice messages from... he's playing football, I think, with some of his mates, who are all Ben Sherman-clad northern men, in the northern suburbs of Perth. And he'd given away that she was a comic.
Oh,
she's like, "Would you fucking do that for?" Yeah, she just don't like people knowing that she's a comic.
Yeah,
and she, I like to go to a bit of comedy, and she's doing like northern English voice, which is so good on her. The voice that she does, it's so fucking good to hear her do this impersonation of an old northern man. But, I like that. Have you seen that Jon Pinder? She's like, fucking mates with
fucking Norfolk monkeys. Yeah. Oh wait, that's not
Snatch.
Snatch.
Lock, Stock.
Yeah. Fucking.
That was Lenny. What's his face? Wasn't it?
That's Snatch.
Lenny McLean.
Is that the actor?
Was
it him that said no? He was
fucking Norfolk.
What was he called?
Monkeys.
Harry the Hatchet or whatever it was.
Harry the Hatchet. Yeah.
What was Bricktop's real name? Because he's dead, isn't he?
Is he?
Bricktop's dead.
Maybe not.
Oh, you heard it first.
Might not be.
Shame. You heard it first.
Bricktop.
Guy Ritchie
I didn't know he was dead.
Guy Ritchie's dead.
Is Guy Ritchie dead?
Yeah.
Jason Statham's dead, isn't he?
Yeah, he died first.
Yeah.
He was the first to go.
Those are the only two I know, the actors' names from that. Well, Brad Pitt.
Stephen Graham, Brad Pitt, they're all dead.
Yeah.
Stephen Graham is fucking brilliant, isn't he?
Isn't he wonderful?
Jesus.
Have you seen Boiling Point?
Yeah. Anytime I see his face in fucking anything, I'm in.
Which
Same
one's?
which
Stephen Graham, he played Tommy in Snatch. Tommy, what are you doing with a gun?
Oh, yeah.
It's for protection.
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
So he's now in, if you get old, just search on any of your fucking apps,
Yeah.
Stephen Graham, watch anything that he's in.
He's in fucking a lot of things,
Especially Boiling Point. Get your head
Okay.
around that. It's fucking unbelievable. It's all filmed in one shot in a restaurant.
Seeing
Fucking
him in one shot,
Yeah.
those fucking things.
It's really clever.
What's
that?
started at 1916 or whatever?
1917,
1917?
yeah.
Isn't that's sort of like one shot?
That's
film?
filmed in, yeah.
Those
that's all.
one shot scenes get me. What was what's the one with Michael Keating?
Oh, I don't know.
And it won
Batman.
Birdman.
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 Oh, Birdman, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Birdman, and it won the Oscar for
Did it?
best film, I think. And that is like it's a one shot film, shot on Broadway.
That's what Boiling Point's like. It's really, really good.
Really, and the fact that it's shot on Broadway, and then Michael Keaton has to walk out onto fucking Times Square, and
I
they have
haven't
to
seen
get
it.
all these scenes.
I like Michael
and
Keaton.
the final scene with Emma Watson just looking up at the hospital bed, and like it leaves you thinking.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Do you know what a spoiler? Actually, this is a kind of a cool
Yeah,
one.
of course
Inception. You seen Inception?
I have seen it.
You know, at the very end, he spins the thing, and you
Yes.
never know. You're like, was he?
Oh, some people have worked this shit out, haven't
Yes.
they? Yeah.
So he was. That was his real life. So what he did was, I can't remember the order of which it was, but it was either wedding ring when he was dreaming, or when he was not. I think it was wedding ring when he was dreaming, and he didn't have it when he spun. So it implied he was.
Oh, is he not wearing it? In the,
Yeah. So every time he was
okay.
dreaming, he was wearing a wedding ring. Every time he was in real life, he wasn't. Or the other way around. I can't
Right.
remember. And so he was.
Well, no,
back.
'cause-
So that ruins it for you. It doesn't leave the question
I'd like to
unanswered.
watch it. I'd like to watch it again.
Molly, in real life, was dead, and he was more attached to her. In the dream sequence, he was always trying to evade her because he knew what it would do. So I guess in real life, he probably wore the ring.
Potentially. I can't remember. They've got the breakdown. Someone.
Do you know what? It's such a good film. It was just unnecessarily. People overcomplicated it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that complicated.
Yeah, I wasn't asked. I was like, look, the city's folding in
Yeah.
over itself.
What's
They're like,
That
what's
whole-
it about? I'm like, I'm not sure.
That whole scene that's the exposition of the film. That's him
Yeah.
explaining it without what's his name?
Leo?
No, the architect. Not the one that they're recruiting is the architect.
Oh, fuck.
It's a he now.
Yeah, he,
But
yeah.
what's
Elliot Page.
Elliot
That's the
Page?
one, yep.
So when he's explaining it to Elliot Page, he is basically just explaining how the whole fucking thing works.
I love
Without
that.
Elliot Page being in it, there's no. You don't get that.
What I love in those sorts of scenes, and you see it in Shaun of the Dead, when they lay out the plot of the movie.
I was
in the
talking to someone
fucking
about this. I was talking to
start.
Sophie.
Soph loves this.
I was talking to
It's her favourite
Sophie
film.
about this at the gig the other night.
That is
she
the one
loves that
thing I
shit.
tell everyone. I'm like, when they lay it
Back
out,
to
and
the bar for shots, Bloody Mary, like,
first
all that
morning,
nonsense. Yeah,
all of that
amazing.
is fucking. I love the little.
Steal it.
Yeah, I've always wanted to.
Steal it for our short film where I run around a lake.
Yeah, just chuck it. But
Cool.
I don't have
Lake
to run
runner.
around the old lake. Do I?
But so what is that? It's Nick Frost, Simon Pegg, and who's the director? Or is it Ed?
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright. That's it. Yeah. Fuck, they're so good.
Yeah,
I was saying to Sophie as well that if you take Shaun of the Dead out of the equation, I think we talk about Hot Fuzz the way that we talk about Shaun of the Dead if we didn't have Shaun of the Dead.
100%.
Because Hot Fuzz is brilliant as well.
So good.
But because you hold the two of them right next to each other, you go like, oh yeah, Hot Fuzz is really good. But have you
One
seen
came first, didn't
fucking
it? One
Shaun of
came
the Dead?
first, yeah.
Exactly.
100%.
But without it, Hot Fuzz is so good. Hot Fuzz is hilarious.
I've
Yeah,
been
it's
around
great.
the station a few times.
What's the other one?
End of the World or the World's End?
Oh, Paul.
Oh, the
Nah,
World's
Paul-
End. World's End one.
Yeah,
The World's
they've
End.
got that one, Paul, which
Paul's
is Nick Frost.
good.
Did
I ain't
Edgar
seen
do
that.
that as well? Did Edgar do
No,
that?
so Nick Frost is in it, but Edgar Wright didn't direct it, I don't think.
Okay.
But so that was Paul, but that was awesome. Those two together, but Edgar Wright directed the World's End or the End of the World. I can't remember what
At
it's
World's End. Wasn't it called At World's
End?
Or The World's End?
I think it's
Yeah.
called The World's
Fucking
End,
very good.
called. It was
I've
very
only
good.
seen it once.
But because their characters were swapped, in regards to he was the
he
was the mature one
unit.
and he was I didn't like that dynamic. I felt like it worked better
because physically, like the physicality of the two of them, it doesn't sort of translate anyway. They didn't have it in Spaced. They did like it wasn't that way in Spaced. It wasn't that way in
He's not convincing like that,
no,
Simon Pegg, is he? Because he seems like an organised little...
He does, yeah.
Well, he's the guy in what is it, Mission Impossible. He's the gizmo guy. Yeah, he's got all this shit together.
I'm sure I've seen him in something that I didn't expect to see.
Shaun of the Dead, we were just talking about.
Was he in Band of Brothers, very briefly?
Really?
Or something like that. I'm sure he was in Band of Brothers very briefly. There's loads of people in that. Jimmy Fallon was in it.
I was going to say, it's so, because I hadn't seen Band of Brothers, or maybe I'd seen it like ages ago or whatever. But
Tom Hardy was in it.
Exactly. I was watching it. I was like, you see so many A-listers that obviously weren't A-listers at the time. Yeah. And it's really interesting when you have things like that, because it's kind of like Game of Thrones. If they made Game of Thrones now and everyone was a star now, I don't think it has the same impact.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Like, what's his name? Sean
of the Dead.
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean, yeah.
he was the only person in there who we all recognised. Yeah. So when they fucking lop his head off, you're like, wasn't expecting that.
What the fuck? Yeah.
Whereas now he's like, he's like, everyone else is a fucking massive star as well, so it wouldn't have had the same impact.
That's a good point. But
fucking hell, time.
Don't know what is it.
Now, speaking of Stephen Graham, fucking brilliant things. Time. It's a prison series. There's 2 seasons of it. One in a men's prison and one in a ladies' prison.
I think
really?
Has that got Sean Bean in it?
I don't know. I think I've seen like little reels or something maybe where it's one of those things where you watch it and you go, I want to see
Sean
that.
Bean, the English guy?
Scottish.
Is he Scottish?
No, sorry, no. He's northern, isn't he?
Yeah,
sorry,
like Yorkshire or something like
that.
I
just know him as...
He was fucking great in this thing.
Ned Stark.
I don't even know him as Ned Stark.
Have you not watched Game of Thrones?
I do, but Lord of the Rings fan.
I haven't seen those.
Yeah, but...
I've tried.
We're going to have our first fight.
Listen, I promise you I've tried. I've tried to watch that first one. Right?
Yeah.
I've tried to watch that, I think, about 4 or 5 times. I never get more than about half an hour in before I'm like...
Okay,
I'm like that with Harry Potter. I keep trying to get through Harry Potter.
See, Harry Potter films, I think the Harry Potter films are fucking brilliant.
Well,
I like them. I just never seemed... It's such a commitment.
I'm such a Lord of the Rings fan. When we were running the Ultra... And I was still up and about. No, I didn't do that. No, there is. Have you seen the guy who runs? He does running, and he just runs to epic music. So he'll run to the Lord of the Rings. So anyway, I was running in the Ultra, and it was like a fucking long, open plain, and I just was like, you guys aren't going to find this funny because you probably won't remember the line, but I said, us dwarves are natural sprinters, not made for long distance. And
what, you said this out loud?
Yes, and I yelled it, and then I heard one person go, ah!
Oh, that's very good.
In the background, they're like, Lord of the Rings.
That's very good.
But
I'm so glad that landed
while
you
I was
were running.
I was just
such a... People were fucking crushing. Come and get your love.
People were
running. You really don't want to bomb when you're on a marathon.
People were running past, running around us, me and this other lad that we were sort of stuck together for a while, Chris Thompson. I think his last name's Thompson. We were just yelling shit, and they were like, oh, fucking look forward to seeing you when we're in the beach sand 60 Ks in. And I was like, cool. I seen one of them, and I was like... She's like, you're not smiling now, are you? No, I'm a little bit painful. But, No, I love all that shit, man. That's good. One thing that's been perking us up a little bit lately is spooky stories. I don't know if you guys...
Oh, yeah, you were talking about that. Spooky stories. What's gotten you into it?
I don't...
Is it Squirrely?
No.
Squirrely had some bangers, didn't he? Did him on the Yarns.
I don't remember.
He told a ghost story.
Well, they are fun, though.
Regarding his sister. Don't you remember? You should dig out that clip. It's
okay.
Fucking brilliant.
I'll find it. We'll have to find that. Look, and Dave's like, I don't believe him.
My dad's a bit of a...
Squirrely doesn't strike me as a ghost person. Sorry.
No.
person.
He punched a goat. I don't think he's...
Yeah,
I've got a couple. When I was in England, I was probably in my early 20s, and I lived in a really old apartment building. It was it used to be a school.
Oh.
No, not kid ghosts.
Oh.
Well, no. So what happened was I remember I came home at probably 2:00 in the morning. These are my drinking days. And I remember just waking up. in the middle of the night and a ghost had pissed all over me. I don't have any
You made him do the Seth.
I don't have any ghost stories of my own, but like what really like troubles me, because I don't believe in them. What really troubles me is when I meet somebody or I know somebody who's like proper fucking normal, and then they go, "Oh yeah, no, I've met a ghost."
That's what my dad's like.
Fuck's sake,
that's what my dad's like. Yeah, I hate that. Because why would you?
Well, it's not just that. Like, so, and this one is true. But so there was a girl that I knew who was like one of the smartest people I've still ever fucking met. She grew up in a place called the Isle of Wight. I think you know the Isle of Wight in England, just off the south coast of where I'm from. And I guess
they tax exempt there?
No, they're not.
What's the one that's tax exempt?
That's not the Seychelles. That's the fuck me. What is it? It's where King Richard's son got shipwrecked and they all went and helped him.
I thought
Cayman Islands.
Cayman Islands, yeah.
Oh, right.
So that was their tax paid to the crown.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she lived in the Isle of Wight, and she said that she lived in a house and it was just ghosts constantly, paranormal activity.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. So you definitely got some of it on camera if it's happening all the time.
Yeah.
Come on, that's where you lose me.
Yeah.
That's where you lose me.
Yeah, my dad's had a few of them. He had.
As he bollocks. No, go on.
Well, yeah. I mean,
no.
I'm the same. I'm not a big ghosty fella, and nor is he generally. But he's always had this weird sleep paralysis thing, and he used to see an old lady in our old house at Peelwood Avenue in Little Alton, and she was quite an unassuming, friendly-looking old lady, but she'd just be standing there. She'd just be standing about the place.
But he had sleep paralysis.
7 or something. Yeah, but one night he had it while he was doing the business.
What's the business, John?
The sex business.
Oh, your dad banging your mum.
No, not my mum. My stepmom.
What, your ghost?
Yeah, my mum heard about the ghost shit and was like, I'm fucking out. And apparently it happened then, and one of the neighbours said there was an old lady that used to live here. I can't remember what they called her. She lived there before us, and some of the neighbours on our street still knew her. And then one day, he said he got the weird sleep paralysis thing, opened his eyes expecting to see her and didn't. And then he said he just got this weird feeling of like relief, like it let go of him. And he got up and he was looking around and he looked out the window and she was walking out the gate.
Well, because she'd had to watch him have sex.
What?
Maybe.
Like, fuck this.
Maybe. I mean, it'd put me off. I'd move house if there was somebody banging in my
Imagine
bed.
your ghost leaves because it had to watch him banging.
It's just
someone.
what he said, but he's like quite. He's not really like that. It's weird, isn't it? But like I was only like 7 or 8 at the time, so I'm now terrified when I go to my dad's house.
Yeah.
That like I'm like not looking in mirrors and shit like that.
Yeah.
If I have to get up for a piss, I'm legging it back to my bedroom.
It definitely had me for a long time. That whole scary fucking thing. It used to terrify me.
Yeah. It's some scary shit, and it.
But no, I mean like way too late as well. Like I was in my teens when I was like, when I was like fucking, that stuff just doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, it's creepy shit.
I was in Peru, and they all believe in like the devil. The jungle devil.
Yeah.
And they've got these stories. Like one guy had this story about his grandma who goes missing, and to her it's like half an hour later she returns, and to them it's like fucking 3 weeks later she comes back, and because she saw this little girl in the jungle and she followed her to go help her. Yeah, exactly. And I get
ghosts can fuck off.
I get goosebumps like talking about it because it's and when they tell you, they've all got all these different stories. Like some of them come back and some of them don't. And I was like, that is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
My dad had a mate called Wayne Harrison.
Wayne's a good name for a ghost, isn't it?
It's a good name for a mate. Spooky Wayne.
Spooky Wayne.
My mum knows a lady called Spooky Jean. She was one of these people that have messages from the dead and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, these crystal-y people.
Yeah.
Like, oh, your dad's around you today, love. They call her Spooky Jean. She works at Tesco. Spooky Jean were just saying to me the other day. You know these people?
Yeah. They're like, I can see your aura. It's always like a great animal. It's never like, it's a fucking rat.
Yeah.
It's a cockroach. Your animal's a cockroach.
I'd met a lady once who said she could see auras. And I said, what's mine like? She said, it's grey and this bit's missing. She says, there's holes in it.
Was she looking at your track pants?
That's very good.
Anyway, tell us about Wayne.
Wayne, right? He was
That's great.
I fucking loved Wayne. He was one of the reasons why I got these mum and dad tattoos on my hands. It's not really for me mum and dad tattoos, just because it reminds me of all them hard men back in the pub. Right. Because I was raised in pubs. You know what, English pubs and all these people, the little dot tattoo on their face, little swallows and shit on their hands.
Little side note. I went back to England for the first time in like 2017. You know the first thing I did? But bear in mind, I hadn't drunk in a very long time by then. I've never smoked. No, we walked past a pub and I just opened the doors and went...
Yeah, big
because it's such a distinctive smell, and an English pub smells like nothing else on earth. There's pubs here, pubs everywhere else. You've travelled, they don't smell the same, but the pubs in England, they all smell identical.
And a lot of those buildings are very, very old, and the smell is very distinctive because it's in some cases
ghost cum.
Hundreds of years of ghost cum seeped into them floorboards and them walls and stuff. It's very distinctive.
But it was after the smoke ban as well. I think it all just kind of sticks around.
It does stick around,
The cigarette smoke repels me. I hate it. Like it makes me want to throw up when people are smoking. But there's something about the mix of it with the dirty car scale and the sweat.
Old man cigars.
Is it nostalgia for you? Do you think?
I mean, I used to work in them, so I didn't particularly like them. But it probably was a bit of a nostalgic thing.
It's nostalgia for me. I grew up in them.
Yeah.
I was always at the pub.
I loved, and it was so foreign to me, but like seeing everyone just stand outside the pub in the streets.
Yeah.
It seemed fun. It seemed like, and now having seen some of the videos, like people playing cricket outside and just getting a tennis ball, and like they use London a bollard as a wicket, and then everyone just it fucking looks a fucking right laugh.
London pubs for me, like around Covent Garden, places like that.
Yeah,
they're like works of art you can fucking walk into, man. They're fucking beautiful. And like historic and shit. And there's a weird tradition in England as well. There's some of them pubs in London, there's lots of flowers and shit outside of them. They're like beautiful
they have the
fucking places. It's amazing. One of these fellas, Wayne, right? He was a proper hard bastard. He was one of them ones that had 2 gold earrings, big thick ones.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know, back then it was considered gay and therefore a bad thing because it was the 90s.
Yeah.
To have more than 1 earring. This guy had 2 big thick, so you knew he was an hard bat. He wasn't bothered what people. He was one of them fellas. Just like he was made of wood.
Yeah,
he was a grainy bloke. You know.
Yeah.
He took me shooting when I was little, because I was a little boy and I was into guns and stuff like that. And he used to have to go shooting foxes because they would attack the sheep and stuff on this farm.
Yeah.
And he shot a rabbit once and blooded me with its, like he wiped its blood on my face.
What?
So like I was like a little army
like a
man
rite
or
of
something.
passage.
Yeah, like some kind of rite of passage. And then when my dad took me back to my mum's that evening, I had like dry rabbit blood on my face. She was like appalled. She was, what the fuck? Oh, it's rabbit blood, Mum. Don't worry about it. It's just a bit of rabbit blood. Anyway, my dad had a dream about him one night. This is once he already moved to Australia. It's been years since he lived there, and he had the sleep paralysis thing. Woke up, or at least he thought he woke up. Could, as far as anybody knows, still have been in a dream. And sat up, and Wayne sat on the bed next to him. And I can't remember what he said that he'd said, or whether he said anything, but he said he hugged him. It was like his mate. He hadn't seen him for a long time, and he hugged him. And then the next morning, he got a call from a mate in England who said that he'd passed away from a brain tumour that nobody knew he had.
Oh.
That's weird, isn't it? Oh,
was that
there he is.
Oh.
Stop traffic. He had a motorbike.
Fucking hell. That's a bit weird. I have seen a ghost, and I've yeah,
you have?
I have seen a ghost.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. People that I go like, yeah, proper normal this. Go on, change my mind.
Is that how you see Banju?
You see me as proper normal. That's nice. No, I have seen a ghost. I've seen, I guess you could argue away because I was so young. But I from memory, around 6 years old. And my brother, specifically on stormy nights, would come into my bedroom and want to sleep in the bed with me because he was scared. And me starting to get older.
But I didn't have a brother.
Yeah. Me starting to get older started to want my independence. No, sleep in your own bed. Sleep in your own bed. So it's a stormy night. It's your stereotypical stormy, scary. Yeah, 100%. And yes. And I start feeling
Docula.
I start feeling this pat on my back, and I
can feel it too.
Yeah. It was I just assumed it was my little brother asking, and I go away, and I started feeling
not tonight. I've got an headache.
Yeah, and it felt more comforting, and but I specifically remember that, like, I started to think, oh, maybe my mum's just come to check on me, because it felt like
flexing now in case it does it again.
Yeah, and I felt it was a bit more comforting, and so I remember I turned around to either say to my brother, go back to your bed, or see if it was my mum, and it was this old lady sitting on the end of my bed, and she had her hands over her.
Oh, no, that's scary.
Over her
Why
face.
did she have her hands like that?
No idea. And
So she was doing that and then doing that? Was that what she was?
I have no idea. Like,
so you felt the pat, you
I
turned
felt the
around,
pat, turned
but she
around.
didn't do anything. She just sat like that.
there on the end of my bed.
Oh, that is terrifying.
And
that's worse than her just sitting there.
Yeah, and as a kid, as you normally instantly bang, covers under the covers, hold on the covers, and then I guess I was trying to get the courage to go see mum, or I don't know if I fell asleep, I don't know what happened, and eventually when I got the courage to pull the covers back out and have a look, no one there, gone. Went and told mum and dad I'd seen a ghost, and they did the standard parents thing, just go back to bed, it's not there, it's not there. And then as I described her to my mum and my dad, I cannot remember, there was a specific detail that I gave them, and they were like, oh, that's my dad's grandmother, and that's what they thought it was, but it could have just been anything. It could have been a dream, it could have been a nightmare, but it was.
How did they know that it was your dad's grandmother?
There was a specific detail I gave. I cannot remember.
She passed away by
yeah.
She glued her hands to her face and died.
I don't know.
Oh, fucking
I can't remember what it was. Like the way she had her hair, the dress.
She had a terrible super glue accident.
I'll have to ask my parents. They might remember, but it was it was like the dress she was wearing or something, or the fucking hair, not the super glue to the hands. You fuck.
Sorry. Because I mean, one old lady tends to, unless it's fucking Dame Edna, look like another. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. This one was very distinctive.
How do you... Because it could be anybody's grandmother,
Yeah,
couldn't it?
yeah, 100%. It could have just been an old lady. But it was an elderly lady, hands in front of the face. It's fucking terrifying.
That is so scary.
It's terrifying.
It is, but I think, like, so...
I don't like when people do awkward shit like that, or that Blair Witch thing where he stands in the corner.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
I have had sleep paralysis.
I don't like crying ghosts in films, Sixth Sense and all that, weeping.
Do you remember
frightened ghosts?
Do you remember that movie, 3 Men and a Baby?
Yeah.
Tom Selleck. Apparently there's a ghost in that film, and I watched the scene. There's a man standing at the window.
Yeah.
And that was one of the earliest things that I'd seen like that, when someone went, there's a ghost in that film. I was like, whatever, and it's a film. And they went, no, but it's not meant to be there.
Yeah.
And then you just watch, someone knocks at the door, the camera pans, and then you see at their window, there was a figure just stood there.
Yes.
And a thing like that. And at the time, I was like, that is absolutely terrible. Someone probably died on set, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's probably someone who wasn't meant to be in shot.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is kind of the thing, like, there's always, like, that story that I just told you about.
Grip.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That story that I just told you about the devil in the jungle, I think most of that can be put down to, you know, like them thinking that they've only been away for like half an hour or something. There's dehydration, and the fact that it's usually old people. Like it's usually someone's
Peru
grandma.
as well, psychedelics and shit.
Well, yeah.
They love all that.
Yeah.
Well,
licking toads and that.
Well, the only time I had sleep paralysis, and it was a very scary moment for me.
Yeah.
But
it's a very unpleasant feeling.
Yeah, well, it was far more unpleasant for me because I had like a demonic experience.
Oh, Jesus.
It was terrifying, but because I had a weed brownie.
Right.
So I can't.
They're illegal, aren't they?
I guess I can't put it down to I can't put it down to that it couldn't. Yeah, it could have been a hallucination.
Yeah, right.
But this felt very real.
Some would argue that life is an hallucination.
Fuck off.
Correct. But
British response. Fuck off, mate.
because I'd had the weed brownie, I can't disregard a hallucination, but it felt very real. And my wife at the time was next to me while it was all happening, and I was talking to her and telling her what was happening. So this isn't like this wasn't a thing that can't be not validated, I guess.
Yeah.
But she was there saying, I was freaking out and I was saying all these things. But so what happened was I'd fallen asleep. I'd had this weed brownie for whatever reason. I wasn't in a great place at that time, I guess. I was having a weed brownie and fell asleep and sort of woke up to a shadowy creature in the doorway, and I could see it, and it was almost like, it creeps me out. It like a real fast like that, and it's on top of me and holding me down, and I can't move. Like I can't move.
Yeah.
And it's on top of me going, you did this to yourself. You put yourself in this vibration. You've had the weed brownie. I have control over you. This is all your fault. And it was like in front of my face. And I remember it. It looked like this sort of gargoyle sort of creature that I see in like Balinese art and stuff like that. It looked exactly like that. And then I eventually got Steph to sort of help me and break me out of sort of, I guess, paralysis or whatever. I'd never been more fearful in my life.
But what I think is really interesting about stuff like that is like I've got friends who also have weed brownies, but they haven't seen Balinese art. They're not smart enough to have any of these other references. Yeah. So their experience wouldn't have been like that. And I think it's because you've got all the
potentially
those things.
But because I didn't know this is not something I had prior knowledge of. I'd never heard of.
But for like a demon to tell you that this is your fault, like these are your vibrations,
correct,
that caught you in them now, it's because you already subconsciously were like, I did this to myself.
But a lot of people would argue that is the nature of a demon. It's shadow parts of your unconscious that are being processed in whatever way they're being processed. And sometimes
I've told you the ayahuasca story. That's 100% my own demon staring right back at me, but I'm aware because that's what
as with my mushroom experience, that's what whether or not
I think people get overly bogged down when you're talking about things like this on the idea of whether or not they believe in paranormal things, because they still got this idea of, is it a tangible thing outside of me? In the same way that people will always argue about God as a separate entity, like a fairy tale creature, as something that's happening independent of them. It's like it can't happen independent of you. It's part of your own perceptions that's done this. So you could argue that the whole ghost thing would be something that you'd hallucinated, but you could also argue that the only way to see a ghost is by hallucination. That's the form of perceiving one. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that frequency that you need to be on.
It's you have to be, in some way, the door has to be open into those deeper parts of your consciousness that are not present in waking everydayness. Do you know what I mean? And is often helped by the onset of sleep, dreams, psychedelics, weird drug experiences, things like that. Do you know what I mean?
I totally agree.
Maybe that's what that, because it's like saying, I'm plagued by negative thoughts. It's not like negative thoughts are a thing that are out there chasing you about. Being plagued by negative thoughts are something unaddressed in you. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So it's not that they don't exist. They do exist. It's just that the other part of the combination is your own consciousness.
It's almost like your own consciousness communicating with yourself in the best way it knows possible.
Yeah. The same way as like...
I just farted.
Delby's here. Just breaking the tension.
Nice.
But that's right. That's right. But the thing that really stood out as a bit more of a... that made that whole experience a lot more spooky, because at the end of it I just went, whoa, never having a brownie again. Because it's like, that's a weird thing. But no, I was just, that's a weird thing to see. I just assumed it was the brownie.
It's a door I'm better off not opening.
And then I told my brother-in-law about sleep paralysis and that I had, and he's like, oh yeah, that's a thing, I've had that, and I seen this dark creature and it came over me, and I was like, fuck off, what? Like, you had the same experience as me. And he's like, yeah. And I Googled it, and the picture, the like artist rendition of what it would be like,
because it's so common,
was exactly what I'd experienced. Now, either the weed brownie is what's into it, or there's something common to it, and it just weirded me out because it was this gargoyle creature that I had seen, and it wasn't something that I said and explained after and described after. I Googled after I'd explained, and then I was like, "Fuck!" It felt like it confirmed what I'd seen.
Exactly, and somebody dreamed up a gargoyle in the first place from something. Yes. Everybody's working with the same ingredients, aren't they?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So it's like all that Jungian symbology, snakes, doves, shit like that, stuff that are like really common, recurring themes. Somebody come up with that somewhere because that's something that people come up with.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, if I Googled it, it's probably come up with the same picture, but actually, no, don't worry. It doesn't matter. Well, I was going to try and get it up, but it freaks me out looking at it.
You should clip just that. I was going to try and get it up, but it freaks me out looking at it.
Honestly, woman on the bed is way fucking freakier.
Oh, yeah.
Woman on the bed, why is her hands on her face? It's terrifying.
Yeah. I don't know. That was quite creepy. Old house in Kingsley, not far from where I live now.
Even if she'd opened them up and it had been your face.
Oh.
On an old lady's body.
You're not right in the bonds, you.
But I don't know, something about the clips has resonated with people.
With the spookies.
Yeah, they've been going well. People love it. But then it's also then drawn attention to some of our other stuff, our mental health clips and motivational stuff or whatever, and just funny as well, some of the clips. And
well, I don't know if this episode is necessarily chock full of stuff that people... might be. There was some good life tips and shit that you come out with.
Well, yeah, I think so. And so I think what I've been finding is, like when it comes to clipping stuff, is framing the first 3 to 5 seconds of exactly what it is.
Yeah, get the premise out there first.
Yeah, it's the hook.
It's like a stand-up.
That's the thing that gets everyone in.
Yeah. It's like, and so for example...
Am I interested in this or not? Oh, yeah, I like that sentence. That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, and I think one clip that was gone very viral was... what's the creepiest glitch in the Matrix you've ever seen?
Yeah,
and that was Delby's one. It went fucking bang. But straight away, the question was, what's the creepiest? That's what you would Google search. Yeah. That was the SEO is going to point it that way, and it just fucking it makes it. Yeah, and it seems to be working for virality with. I don't know. Virality is probably not a word, but virility. Things going viral. It seems to be the way to do it. Premise the question to begin with, and then just go with the. And after that, well, whoever's interested in hearing about that stuff will be interested. Yeah. So,
I'm sorry that my experiences with the paranormal were not.
No, it's
mine were second hand. I didn't have any.
How have your shows been going? Because you had Guildford on the weekend.
Guildford was lovely fun, joyous. That place is probably haunted as fuck. All them old pubs are haunted, aren't they? Old pubs in Australia are always haunted by.
I think Guildford's on too much of a flat plane. I think in Western Australia, you've got to go up a hill to put it up on a hill. Yeah, like Kalamunda Hotel, haunted as fuck.
Haunted as shit.
Yeah.
Actually, Yvonne from NY Events is convinced that I saw a ghost there. I'm not convinced, but she's convinced. Yeah. I suppose because it was not surrounded by spookiness. Yeah. There was a gig on. It was full of people, and I saw a girl in like a party dress. You know, like
you've told me about
that. Like from a like an American film from the 80s, say.
Yeah.
A girl's party dress. Big, flowy, shiny.
Yeah.
Kind of old-fashioned, but not by any means like Victorian or anything like that. But just a big party dress. But there was no girl. Yvonne and Nicole were like, you saw the girl.
Her dress was from the 70s. It couldn't possibly be her.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't know.
I don't know.
It didn't stand out to me. I just thought it was odd that there was a kid there at this gig.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
There's a kid.
Yeah, why is there a kid at the comedy gig? Do you know what I mean? David Tuffley's on. Get her out.
I'm doing a gig with David Tuffley.
He's very funny.
Shit. Fuck, I love his stuff. Hey, what I was we're all doing one together.
Oh yeah, that's exciting, isn't it? Where's that one?
Tori, and Tuffley at Whifford's somewhere.
Yes.
Is it at the Brewing Co. or is it?
No.
I'll
let you know the week of the gig.
Yeah.
I don't figure out what's happening until the week.
Brewing Co.'s last one was whatever the last one we did was.
Yeah, so it might be Varsity Bar.
It's in I think it's Varsity.
It is Varsity.
I think it's Varsity.
That's a big venue.
Is it?
Well, that's where we did Up and Joke.
Then, I suppose.
That's where we did Up and Joke too.
Nice.
Okay. We'll get amongst that. Get tickets for that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Call it dad's thing.
The dad's thing. Is it Father's Day or something?
Who's your daddy? Comedy night.
Oh yeah, I couldn't make that one.
Yeah, but so that Guildford's obviously going well.
Guildford was good. We've got Wanneroo next week
on Saturday at 8 o'clock.
But it's already sold out now. We were hoping to plug it on here, but we don't need to now. So we just had a nice chat instead.
We were also hoping we could add more tickets to it, but they were like, "No, there's no need."
It's full, you dickheads. How many does it hold?
180.
180.
Well, we've sold 180. I think
you can squeeze more people in
Yeah.
there. I've squeezed more people in there before, but it's up to the venue. We asked the venue, and they went, "Nah, 180 is comfortable capacity."
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's a good spot. It's a fucking.
I always have
room.
a laugh at Leapfrogs.
Yeah.
It's big. It's fun. Everybody's in good spirits up there.
I've decided to take a bit of a leap as well in that regard. Like I'm doing Leapfrogs. What was it? Comedy Shack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On
How are you doing there?
Yeah. So the day
It's a good
before,
gig.
the day before our dad's one.
Yeah.
And I love it. I've done it there before, but it's for me. It's like a push. Do 10. And
Right. Okay.
it's not a push. I've got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But I always feel like I've got 8 of like, I'm really confident. That's great.
Well, that's what I mean. If you've got 8 of you really confident, it just means that you can deliver it in a more casual way. You can potentially,
which is what I did last time I did that.
Yeah. That's a good ratio.
Because I ended up pushing in a joke that I hadn't told forever. It's not great, and I don't really like it. And it just for me, it ended up wrecking my last time there. It was because I felt like everything was so good. I did crowd work at the start to push it out a little bit, and I took out. And I've added in a few jokes since then, but I've decided to just go, nah, fuck it. I've got 2 10-minute spots in a row, and then I'm MC for that gig. So,
and by all means as well, if you've done stuff that day, if you've got a funny observation that's happened that day or that week, open.
Yeah,
with it.
Yeah,
100%. If you're convinced that it's going to work, or do you do a good joke to open, then talk about your day, because it creates the sense of presence that you're not reciting jokes.
Yes. Well, what I've been
creates a sense of, this is now because he's talking about what happened this morning.
I just remembered I did that at Guildford, but I blamed you for the circular thing.
Yes, you did. Yeah. Which was your own joke, but you credited me with it.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing in commonly is taking the piss out of the MC a little bit. And it seems to
be careful there.
Not in a bad way, in a bit of a fun, in a fun way, jovial way. Like so, Tuffley, for example, I did that. Well, he was MC at Grassroots one night, and he called us up, and I was like, that's what when you get narcissism with sarcasm, you get autism.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a good.
Right. It was classic, and I said, he's actually Make a Wish tonight, so good on you, mate. Good stuff. And it was fun. It was like lighthearted, and I don't look like a cunt when I'm saying it. It's
always very risky to make a joke about an MC if they love the MC.
Yes,
I've seen someone do that.
Because you ain't proved yourself.
And it
I've
didn't
seen
work
it so
at
many
all.
times, and it rarely works. If they've decided they love that MC,
yes,
it's a less risky game to play early in the show.
Yeah.
Yes,
if you're on after the second bracket, which is usually when the MC has confirmed his place in their hearts. And they go, we like that guy. And then the next act comes on. They don't know about him yet. And he goes, look at his stupid fat face. They're like, all right, well, you prove yourself then. And then you've got an uphill battle.
Yeah. So it ends up being like that's. I try to do it in good fun and good, and jest.
Yeah.
Instead of like what a dickhead. Like, and it seems to be fun, but like, it does give that presence. It's like, he's not. And
even if you tag off of their material, if you've thought of something funny that connects to what they were saying.
It was perfect.
The job
and I have found, actually, that's what I'm going to continue to do, because it seems to work. I did one down in Claremont recently, and someone was saying how she's got the police on speed dial because they're in a dodgy area. And I was like, there's the extra 2 zeros too hard to dial.
That's funny. That's a great observation.
That's fucking. And so
that's
that was
very good.
That was, and it created that presence, and it does make it a lot better. So
that's very good. Dial 0.
But I'm just pushing my own boundaries now. I'm like, I'm not quite comfortable with 10, so do it.
Yeah, good. That's a good area to be in. It's a good area to be in.
Do you guys have anything you want to plug before we finish up? We've been going for a bit.
We are going to do more of these.
We're going to put some more together, but I'm probably going to remarket it. We're going to probably change the theme, or give it a bit more of a theme, because we sort of I quite quickly just got a poster made up, and we were just marketing off our own names. Yeah. And I accidentally forgot that I'm not famous. You know when you forget you're not famous?
Oh, yeah. Do it all the time.
Yeah. It's like, oh, shit.
I went out the other day, did not get mobbed.
I know, you're like, what's going on? Where are the guys?
Yes. Classic.
So, we'll probably do a bit more of that. Other than that, just socials and stuff. If you like, follow that stuff if you want. Follow the Arjans.
Yeah,
I'm headlining Oasis in a couple of weeks. Come to that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I've never headlined there before.
Really?
Yeah.
I fucking love Oasis, man.
Great room.
It's such a good room.
Of course, Johnny emails me before I get on here and goes, "Can you do during the fast?"
Yeah.
Yeah, he's that room has just got a bad. Like, I don't know what it is about the sound or something. I don't obviously like the
Oasis.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about it is you can't hear from the
backstage.
From backstage.
I always sit in the audience,
and that's why you do that as MC, because you got to.
Yeah, I always stay in the audience. I like to know what the feel is.
But I always get anxious and like, are they calling you up? And I've only done it twice or three times for Raw. So I haven't even done a night there. Like,
that is enough to put me out of whack with the rest of the night as well. So I always, I'm on, I'd sit in the little stairwell at the side.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be paying attention to what they're saying.
Yeah,
You'd be more like, are they
just
finished?
even to get a feel. It's not even intellectually a thing. It's getting a feel for what they're.
You can be in that green room and not know what's going on.
Yeah, you have no idea about the vibe out there. So you might come bursting out there, hey! But it's all chill.
Yeah.
And then you've made a knob of yourself on your entrance.
Yeah. Anything you want to plug, old son?
Not really, just those, and people should listen to the Hard Yarns, I reckon.
They should especially listen to the Jagger Altoft episode. That is a guy who should have been on a podcast long ago. I was trying to get him on Kings and Vagabonds at one point. I've been recommending him for the Hard Yarns for ages. Love the guy. Amazingly positive presence in the world.
Yeah.
But not in a mamby-pamby, schmamby, wet, soggy, pathetic way.
Yeah,
In a boxing way.
Yeah, a bit of a hard man.
But no ego about him. Not an ounce of wankerishness.
And
on Jagger Altoft.
His childhood story is fucking.
I don't know much of his childhood story. I know some of it, but I'll definitely be listening to the episode because there's a guy who I think has probably got a book in him.
Yeah.
And I've told him that. I told him that within a week of meeting him. I said, "You've got like
8 books in you."
Yeah, you've got like a book in you, like a guide to type book. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Who's the explorer dude? I mentioned him last time I was on because it is genuinely
Christopher Columbus.
What was it, George?
Thorogood.
No, fuck.
Galloway.
They did an episode where John Elliott stepped in for Delby.
Yeah.
And then Branchy and John interviewed George. It's such a good episode.
Dr. Jeff Wilson.
Right. Yeah, and so he's off exploring, or at least, well, I don't know if he still is, but wasn't he out in like fucking the Antarctic or some shit?
Yeah, he was trying to drive from the South Pole do a sailboat from the South Pole to the North Pole.
Jesus.
Shit he does all the time. But it was, he's got some amazing stories. It was funny. That was, that was one of my favourites.
No, well, there's a lot.
Don't listen to any other podcasts, though.
No,
just listen to this one.
There's a lot good going on.
Get to number 1.
Yeah, and hopefully manifesting a little sponsor there, tradie.
Manifesting.
What are your thoughts on manifesting? Do you think it's the same sort of thing that we were talking about?
I don't like the word.
I
don't like the exact word association nonsense. However, I can't deny it because I have seen the results frequently. It happens so often now where I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of buzzwords and people take it for a much cleaner science than it really is. But I think, in the sense of, if you simply do this and you do that and you follow these easy steps, it's like, it don't really work like that.
No, it doesn't.
It works how life works, which is fucking mysteriously.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I just find that
that's the title of the episode, Life Works Mysteriously.
I just find that with the whole manifestation thing, and it really is fucking yucky. But the
thing is as well, that word has got utility elsewhere than New Age circles.
Exactly.
It's a proper word already.
A proper word, But in regards to the stuff that we're talking about, whenever I tend to... Well, it's just about knuckling. It's just knuckling down to something, and like going like, "This is the thing that I'm going to do," and then all the steps that you put in place, and then suddenly you've manifested this thing. I haven't. I just made a plan and I followed it.
Which is a form of manifestation. That's kind of what that is. Making something happen by, doing other things.
Yes, 100%. It is.
Where do you sit with it?
The same-ish. To a point.
I think people think that it's woo-woo, but it really isn't.
Yes, that's the problem,
I went to the avenue of it's a science. It's the reticular activating system. So you say, I want to be a podcast host. So
there's a factor in it for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I see, and then I start seeing podcast equipment that was always being sold on Gumtree. Now I see it
You
because
notice
I'm
it
looking
more
for
because
it.
you want
That's
it.
Bader-Meinhof. They call that the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon.
Yeah, and it's using the reticular activating system in the brain, and it's seeing the red car on the streets. You buy a red car, you see the red car.
Bader-Meinhof.
I get that idea. That's what I thought about it until recently. Some things, I still think there's a science behind it, but by some of the things I've been asking for and suggesting, or not even asking for, just like feeling that I have.
Yeah.
Just so to go, I've got it.
Yeah.
Not asking for it. Just
yeah.
And just letting go of the maybe that's just rewiring my mindset, and I still am recognizing.
And I think a lot of that stuff comes more naturally the more confident you are with it, and therefore the less, like you say, desperate you are.
Yeah. I think there's something to this collective consciousness idea that we all have the answers to everything we need inside. We just need to quiet our minds a little bit.
I've fired again.
I think it's entirely possible that the limits on things are more liquidy than they are solid.
Yeah.
Or do you know what I mean?
That's a good way to look at it.
The boundaries between the psychological world, the physical world, the emotional world, those boundaries are not as solid as what they look.
Yes.
It's what they appear to be. They're gooey.
Yes. Sorry, Alan.
They're gooey prickles. And prickles
Speaking
goo.
of gooey, I have farted.
I've farted. Right,
And
let's
like
leave
that-
it on your fart. My parking's run out.
And like that, you're it.
And just like that, you're it. You farted.
You farted. All right. Thanks so much for coming on, lads.
Thanks for
Cheers,
having us.
geezer.
All right.